about the GDP numbers this week and official term for recession.
Beautiful.
All right, cool. See if we get this live stream up and going. I got the chat on the screen. 43. All right, looks like we're good. Everything's closed in YouTube. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Lovers and haters.
Hopefully more lovers than haters.
Hopefully both. Hopefully a little bit of both. What's going on, guys?
Good evening, guys. Good evening.
8 Blazing. Who else we got in here? Meagle, Mud Puddle Kyle, Dufresne's Guide Service. Good evening, Turtle, Jamie, John's Touchpad, Rusty, Maggie. Shalom, Maggie. How you doing, Tyler? What's up, my friend? Tally Foreman. All right, let's get this going. Mash, you want to say hi to some folks?
Yeah, let me say hey to Frankie Muhammad. What is up, my friend?
Frankie.
NW, Jim Thomas, Marie Paul, Maggie, how you doing tonight? Tammy, good evening. Yucca J Beebs. Oh boy, a bunch of people just jumped in. Jim, PH Dragon, War Dog, J Deer, Deaf Guy, Jim Believer, Nick YD, Corey, Doc. Good evening, guys. Good evening. How you doing, Frankie? Hanging in there? Been a long day to you, huh?
Yeah, you know, I didn't tell you this earlier, Mass. When I talked to you, my car got broken into at some point last night.
Jeez,
you
really?
know, I talk from time to time about the the homeless problem in Austin, and people get mad when I talk about the homeless. You know, I have no problem with the homeless, but they roam through every neighborhood and check every single car every night. And if one night you leave your car door open, they will get you. And I guess I forgot last night. So I peeked out my window at lunch and I saw my passenger door out the window was wide open in the middle of the day. I was like, oh boy, I already know what happened. And I went out there and sure enough, my center console was up, papers just thrown all over my car. They had ransacked my center console looking for probably a gun is what they usually look for in Texas.
Right.
Or my bags of money, but I don't hide those in the car. And no gun
Thankfully.
either. So they didn't get anything, but it's irritating. I know they do that because every day when you wake up on Ring and Nextdoor, there's videos of someone sitting in someone's driveway, going through their car with the lights on and the alarms. These guys are brazen. They don't care.
No.
If your door's open, they're going to get you.
Yep. And that goes across the board. Same thing with firearms. They don't care. Criminals don't care. They will get their hands on them. So if you take them out of the hands of law-abiding citizens, you know what the repercussions will be. The deaf guy says he needed your hair, Tony. You could have donated it to him.
Yeah,
Natsuka.
Tyler, you missed this weekend. On Saturday, I put a vote in the Discord. Should I do the full hardcore Marine haircut, or should I just take a little bit off the top? Nobody voted, so I kind of went in between. I don't know. It just passed by in all the chatter of the weekend.
It looks good, man. Came out good. Natsuka says, good evening. Can we stop saying crypto is dumping to pay Amy in the community? Natsuka, you haven't heard that on these channels, I don't think. Domainer, good evening. How you doing tonight? But of course, we don't have to talk about that. Let's see. Who do we got here? Say hey to some people. Proudman02, good evening. Gold Shark Mark, good evening. Carl J. Bill Biv DeVoe. I missed a bunch of people in the beginning. Mike, good evening. Bucks fan. Felix, Billy87, Kirk. I got Maggie. Jordan, good evening. Natsuka, good evening. And let me pull up. Just get to the bottom and get caught up here. Floyd, good evening. Rajiv, good evening. Derek. What?
Tyler says you should have gotten the mohawk. I'll keep that in mind for next time.
When we break all-time new highs for AMC, you got to go mohawk. That's the deal. Evening from Bermuda, says Malcolm. Malcolm, good evening. Thank you for joining us from Bermuda. Can I put Bermuda up on the map? Oh, I can't wait to show you the new map for the background. Common Sense Investor, good evening, my friend. How you doing tonight?
What's up, brother? CSI?
Derek.
Bitcoin mass is at 21,000, well off the recent low of 17,000. So, you know, I wouldn't say quite yet that we're crashing, but it's definitely something we talk about as a concern, right? A possible drop down to 10,000 if it were to crash through 17. But we need some more bad economic news to get that happening. And it could happen, but
Hold on to your shirts.
yeah,
could be coming.
One step at a time, guys. We can only wreck so much per week in the economy.
Maggie says we all need to move to Morrill, Maine. Hardly any crime. That sounds good, Maggie. Isolation. Let's see. The Vineyards, good evening. I got CSI in there. Sub the boss, good evening. Do you want to take some, Tony? Some new ones? I think I'm actually caught up right now. For right now.
Wired Ape, what's up, buddy? They are going to do another crypto short run. Yeah, it would not surprise me. You know, I put out that video a week ago talking about getting your crypto funds on a cold storage wallet. You know, until we're out of the woods, I think that is the safe plan. Because God forbid if we crash through 17, who knows what sort of margin calls await other millionaires, billionaires below 17,000. And who knows what other exchange is going to go bankrupt. Maybe we got all of that funk out of the system already, but I'm not taking any chances until we're well out of this. I don't need 2% on my money that bad by keeping it on an exchange. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, I agree with you. Mr. 9000, Mr. Over 9000 says greetings from Canada. Sub the boss in Toronto tonight. Good evening, guys. Communist Canada? Not yet. Not yet. You got to get rid of Dumb and Dumber, though. He's got to go. Let's see. Walmart earnings was telling, says Bucks fan. Bucks fan, good evening. How you doing tonight? Yes, absolutely, my friend. I'm just going to pull it up. Did you guys see the numbers today for this?
Yeah, let's talk about that first, and then I see a question about TBLT. I don't want to keep everybody waiting because that was a big issue for a lot of people today. We can get into that after Walmart.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't see, Walmart announced it's cutting quarterly and full year profit guidance. It came just after Amazon did something very similar. They talked in here about expectations for adjusting to earnings per share. So there's some nervousness, right? Walmart is, they got a lot of apparently inventory they need to clear out. I guess a lot of things got backlogged from when we had supply chain buildup and then it was all released. And so it says here in the article, you know, the guidance comes cut. Wall Street will be watching closely for any signs of how the e-commerce giant is navigating micro pressures from inflation, slower consumer discretionary spending, and ongoing supply chain constraints, which we're not going to see let up anytime soon, in my opinion. So, but yes, that was very telling. Absolutely, Bucks fan. I 100%, but 100%.
I'm still very concerned for our retailers, for the market for the remainder of this year. And this week is going to be a key week, right? Because we got the Fed meeting on Wednesday. We'll find out what's going to come up with interest rates. We're some point this week they're going to talk about, are we really in a recession or not? You're already seeing that in the news all weekend and a lot today. Are we technically in a recession or are we not? You know, what is a recession? There's a hardline economic definition, and then there's the more gray government definition. We'll find out. I think you guys, a lot of you already have your opinion, but the old government might tell us something different this week.
Yeah, I was going to say Janet Yellen was on either Meet the Press or Face the Nation on Sunday morning. She went on and was saying that, you know, just because GDP is going to be negative for 2 quarters in a row does not necessarily mean a recession. Well, let me pull this up for you guys while we're sitting here. I asked Tony if this was okay, and he said yes. So I'm going to show you guys this quick little snippet of what the White House, what the government was saying when we had another president in charge, and what they considered a GDP. So let's go back.
I can't wait to hear this. I haven't seen this yet.
Take a peek. All right, let me open this up nice and wide. Make sure the volume's good. I got to unmute myself.
described 33% decline in GDP. That is the definition of a recession, my friend.
Well, the definition is really crossing zero. I take your point. I mean, I think if people will feel a GDP downshift from 3 to 2%, and that's the median forecast, by the way.
Thursday, that first reading of second quarter GDP, there's a possibility this is a negative number. 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth.
The definition of a recession is a decline in output for 2 consecutive quarters, or about 6 months.
A recession is just 2 consecutive quarters of economic decline.
When we talk about the possibility of a recession, what is a recession? A recession is 2 consecutive quarters.
2 consecutive quarters.
2 consecutive quarters.
2 consecutive quarters of declining GDP.
Because as you know, it's 2 consecutive quarters
of down
beautiful. GDP.
That.
Wow, math.
You heard enough?
That was an absolute gem.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah, and the White House is already trotting out the revision to that talking point. The definition is actually dependent on a lot of different factors: wage growth, consumer confidence, they're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. And they definitely are saying it's not just 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. They're walking far away from that now, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they backed up on that big time. So I found that amusing that literally every news outlet out there was agreeing that 3 years ago, 2 negative GDPs is a recession. And now it seems like that has changed for whatever reason. I couldn't tell you. But if that doesn't show you where we're at right now politically, yeah. Oh, is there just one writer for all the news, says the deaf guy. And by the way, AMC Airman said, can we please talk about your hair? We did discuss it when we first opened. Tony was looking today, so we had to mention it.
I
know AMC
I feel like we're about to go into battle. So I literally almost went full Marine haircut. And since I didn't get enough votes for that in the Discord, I pared it back just a hair. But yeah, I mean, that's the number 1 on the sides.
1? Okay. So almost a high and tight, huh? Almost.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't be the first time I've got the full military haircut.
No. It wouldn't be. Jacker says Tony looks brand new. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he looks sharp. Sharp as a sharp. Someone said, is there? Oh wait, someone should put Old Yeller out of her misery, says Dino Mike. Yeah, I mean, she came on and clearly said, yeah, even though technically on paper GDP going negative twice, back-to-back quarters is a recession, but more than likely, what was her exact word she used? Is not inevitable. We think there's a probability that it's not inevitable. Like, could you make a more piss poor statement than think, probably, and inevitable? Man.
I saw a comment pass by Daryl about asking if the buyout from FTX for Voyager was a good deal or not. I don't know if it's a good deal or not, but I did just read in passing a headline this morning or yesterday that said Voyager was rejecting that offer as not being an offer they would consider. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't see that. Really?
So it's not something I'm following closely, but I did speed read that in the last 24 hours.
Okay.
So, I don't have anything in Voyager, so I don't have any skin in the game in that. But I don't either.
Have you ever had Voyager or no?
Nope. No. I did talk about my friend, my crypto advisor buddy, who had over $1 million at one point last year in crypto, was on Celsius and Voyager. And he was trying to talk me into getting all my cryptos moved over there because of the obscene interest rates he was making. And he was just like, what a country, this is beautiful. I can't even believe they're paying this. I'm like, well, how are they paying it? That's my question to you. How do you pay someone 5, 10, 15, 20% interest in this environment? He's like, I don't even know. And I was like, that's what worries me.
Bingo.
So I did not move any of my money to Voyager or crypto, because that, just at a common sense level, should concern you guys. When someone is offering you outrageously high earnings, interest rates, APY, whatever you want to call it, that should trigger some concern in your brain. And it did for me. I never moved any of my money into Celsius or Voyager. And unfortunately for him, I talked to him last week. He's gonna lose about at least 50,000. He got most of his money out, but not all of it. So that's a hard lesson. 50K is that's a pretty big bite for anybody.
That's a lot of money for anyone. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I know we froze up, guys, for a second. I apologize. I think we should be back to normal. I know we did freeze for a couple seconds.
Crowdlaw says, how can Voyager hold on my coin and not let me at it? Because unfortunately, in the world of crypto, these assets that these exchanges are holding for you, it's kind of like Seed and Company at the DTCC. You're the beneficiary, but they're the actual holder. And because of the way there's lack of regulation, these are not securities, they're assets of the company,
right?
Until new regulations are passed. That's kind of what Gary Gensler is complaining about. Like, he wants to have regulations regulating crypto as securities or something. We'll see in the next year or two what kind of regulations come out, and there will be some, I'm sure. But right now they're not yours. Unfortunately, they are the company's asset. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. There was that phrase, not your keys, not your crypto. If you don't have the private key, it is not your crypto.
You don't own it. Yeah. Right. CSI says, what is going on with the zombie stocks coming back? So CSI, what I would say to you is, we talked about this back in the end of the winter, early spring. Even I remember certain YouTubers saying, zombie stocks, and we're going to have all of these runners and distractions. And this was prophesied to have been the case, right? We talked about it earlier, that there were going to be all of these so-called distractions for retail and ways to run. Now, I'm not saying that you can't make money during these stocks, because clearly some of you have, and congratulations to those of you who crushed it on any of these runners. But we talked about this, and I think it's pretty clear. There's a reason why they're pumping these stocks, and there's two sides to every coin. There's someone who made money. Yeah.
I wonder if any of you guys it was fun reading about Blockbuster all weekend, but why don't you do me a favor and pull up the volume of BLIAQ on Friday? Before we get all excited and talk about AMC merging with Blockbuster, let's just talk numbers, guys, because I'm a numbers guy. And I sent out a joke this weekend about BLIAQ, which is the zombie parking lot for Blockbuster. Tell me what the price is, Massalorian, and the volume that jumped that price.
If my squinty eyes can see that. Hold on, let me try and blow my screen up.
I already know the answer. I want you to get it on the screen, and I want people to think like this when you guys are looking into stuff like this.
Can you see that screen, Tony, that closely? Because I can't see it on the feed. I can't possibly read what you're.
Oh no, I was asking you to look it up. I don't have it here, but I can.
Oh, gotcha.
I can pull it up. Yeah, BLIAQ. So you would have to go into that. The people that were posting it on Twitter to see the actual volume, or Yahoo Finance, but the maybe we have it here. $722. That's this last bar right here. The volume was 1,000 shares. I saw. Let's just use the number I saw on Friday on Yahoo. It was 11,000 shares. Jumped
Okay.
the price. Jumped the price from 0.0009 cents to 0.0020. So do the math real quick. Let's just say I wanted to buy 11,000 shares of BLIAQ at 0.002 cents. How much would that cost me?
0.002 cents.
Yeah.
11,000.
11,000 shares times 0.002.
I'll tell you right now. Can I cheat and use my calculator?
Huh?
Or is this a number I should know? I said, should I
No.
cheat and use?
Okay, I forgot. I have my calculator. 11,000 times 0.002.
9.9.
$22. So this is what Twitter was going wild over all weekend. Someone spent $22 and moved the price of Blockbuster up 100%.
That's where that move came from.
Yeah. That's why I didn't make a video talking about Blockbuster and AMC merging. This is, I mean, we're talking, guys, a thousandth of a penny on no volume. So it's fun. Blockbuster got a good little PR bump out of it on their Twitter, but we're not really talking big money here. It's not really, didn't really rise from the grave. Someone spent $22. Someone figured out a way to go buy that and spent a couple dollars and moved it up. Not really that big of a deal.
Seems like, let's see. A lot of people asking about Sundial, BBIG. I didn't follow either of those today. I know you were live earlier today, Tony. Did you guys check in on BBIG or Sundial at any point?
Yeah, I was live for about an hour. We just bam, went through a bunch of different issues. Let's talk about a big one. Let's get a big one out of the way. GameStop. Do I still have my? Yeah, I still got my lines on here. We have a kind of a group consensus discussion in the Discord from all of the active investors in my Discord this weekend about GameStop, a very emotionless financial, let's protect our money and our wallets while we wait for any next short squeeze in these stocks. We had a long discussion about the merits and the problems with GameStop. And basically what I did here with this chart is take all of, and there's another YouTuber, I forgive me because I forget his name, but I saw him do this also, connecting the tops of these points and the bottoms and kind of like looking at this narrowing wedge here on GameStop. And really what I was saying is that by today, we really needed a breakout on this top to move GameStop into its next phase of running up. And instead, we got 3 days of rejection, moving back down into this channel. And that, coupled with the fact that I'm not emotionally attached to GameStop, I have a very small position in GameStop compared to the AMC that I hold. And we've been through many quarters now of Ryan Cohen not providing a real plan, his calls being 5 minutes. The company has a great amount of cash, no debt, but they're losing money in terms of their quarterlies. Today, this morning when the market opened, sold my GameStop when I saw that we were coming into the red. I said, I'm not going to sit here and get another 5% loss on GameStop and watch this trend down. So I will rebuy GameStop. I'm not bearish on GameStop, but my whole thesis of owning GameStop, just talking about this one stock, is solely tied to my belief of Ryan Cohen to transform the company from something that's brick and mortar. So We don't have that announcement yet. I'm out of GameStop for the moment. I drew 2 lines here, purple being the support on the short-term chart at about 28 bucks, 29 maybe, if you're optimistic. And then this lower wedge is going to be around the $24 mark. So I'm going to be looking to re-enter GameStop at 24 to 28 bucks for the next bounce up. Could I be out of the play tomorrow when he announces his next transformational step? Yes, I could be out. And then I'll be playing catch up to get back in. But I was in the green this morning on GameStop, and I made a tough decision knowing that we've got 3 days of red. Nothing happened with the stock split, just like I figured that it would not, other than people ran it up prior to the stock split. And we got Powell getting ready to maybe drop the hammer on the market this week. So I took a temporary sidestep from GameStop, and I will re-enter when it reaches my target. Or like I said, if they get a catalyst and it starts shooting back up, just like any momentum play, I will immediately be right back in it. So just want to be transparent and let you guys know my analysis where I'm at. You can like it or not like it, but I'm always going to be honest with you. Mass, any thoughts? Do you want to?
Yeah, sorry. I was mic'd. I was muted.
Whip me, throw me out the window, throw me off a bridge.
I was muted. Sorry, I was muted. Let me just say 2 things real quick before I forget. Thomas B has his bar exam tomorrow in Houston. So we'll send you some prayers, Thomas. I hope you're going to do great on it. I'm sure you do fine.
Good luck to you, Thomas.
Yes. And before I forget, just want to put Raven's comment up and say congrats. They're doing really well. You put it up a couple times. I missed it. And sorry, T. I just wanted to make sure I got those 2 things out before I forgot about them. Okay. So where did you just leave off? What was the question you just asking me? Sorry.
I asked it, do you hate me now? Like
oh no. We talked about this earlier. I know you guys know that we talk on the phone occasionally, time to time, sometimes multiple times a day. And we discussed it and looked at the chart and just looking forward this week to, like Tony said, the news that's coming in. I think that we're going to have some pullback. And if that's the case, it's more than likely that GME and AMC will follow suit. And if that's so, that 24, and I think me and Tony agreed on that right away, that would be an excellent place to re-enter, especially if you're green right now.
Yeah, I am red on my AMC. So, if I got to hold it till August 4th, it's not going to make a difference to me if it was 17 or 13. Like I'm green if I add in all the options I had from June, but overall on my shares that I bought between 8 and 40, I'm in the red, right? So it doesn't really matter to me, and I'll wait and see what happens on August 4th. But I am going to apply a critical eye to AMC after August 4th. And our discussion this weekend also talked about AMC. I know a lot of you are wondering, what is AMC going to do as far as earnings per share? Is this going to be a positive quarter? I don't think that based on the box office numbers that they will quite get a positive quarter. Our estimate is good, though. It's better than the analyst estimate, which I think the analysts have us at about negative 18 cents. And we're thinking it's going to be between -9 and -11. So I think it should be a beat for AMC, but it's still a negative, but trending in the right direction, unlike what GameStop's doing.
Yes. And the analysts call for what? Negative 19%?
I just looked on Yahoo real quick and a couple of others, and it was coming in average around -18.
Okay. Gotcha. Someone said, Zepia said, so Lou was right about GME saying the split killed it. I didn't say that, neither did Tony. I don't think that what just happened killed the short squeeze for GME at all.
No, I think GME got ran up on people's expectations that were hyped by some people in YouTube. it doesn't really matter who, but everyone who made a video saying that the squeeze, the stock split was going to unearth tens of billions of synthetics, we never agreed with that statement. We tried to do our best to tweet, put community posts and videos out for you guys to let you know not to expect anything spectacular. It was a beautiful run up, and I took the opportunity this morning, based on not seeing green out of the gate, to go ahead and get out while it was still pretty high. I don't want to sit here and ride it down below $30 from 30, 38 to whatever it got to.
Real Rugged DIY says Morant's rants guy is not my favorite. Real Rugged, I think that was one of the reasons that me and Tony decided to bring Morant's on, was because we wanted someone who was going to tell us about some of the things that are exciting for the company and not basing it off a short squeeze, right? He came out and gave you all the reasons other than a short squeeze of why he liked GME. And that decision was up to you at that point, guys, if you want to buy or not. We just brought the guy on that knew a lot more about the stock and the company than me and Tony did to give you guys an idea.
He was actually pretty transparent with his audience. I went back and listened to some of his videos from last week. He was telling his folks that after the split, it's going to drop to 32. So kudos to him for also for keeping it real.
Absolutely.
You know, that I give the guy credit for not being a hypester. He's bullish on the company, just like we're bullish on AMC. There's nothing wrong with that. And he has his own reasons, and he says he's in it for the long haul. And I respect that. And he's also, from what I can tell, I don't listen to every content creator's, all of their videos, but I did specifically go listen to a couple till I could hear what he said. And he specifically said, I told you guys, and it was not popular. I told you it was going to 32 after the split. So hat tip to Morant's rants on that for being honest.
Yep, that takes serious cojones. Absolutely. G Chronicle says, what's up with the video of AA admitting there are synthetic shares?
Yeah, let's get into that next. We got that to talk about. We got the cumulative delta volume. We got TBLT. I talked about all of these on my afternoon live stream, but for those who didn't catch that, we're going to take a little more slow pace with a couple of drinks tonight and get to all of these if you're just tuning in. Do you want to talk about that clip, or do you have it pulled up?
If you want to talk about that, and I'll go into CVD.
All right. So there was Aron in Chicago this weekend, home of Ken Griffin, at least for a short while longer, until he moves to Miami. And the screening of Nope. And I know some of you on my channel were actually there. Eric said that he was there, sent me a photo on Twitter, beautiful photo of family and friends, I guess, with Aron. And Adam did his pre-movie or post-movie speech talking about that. This was not what he said to us in Dallas last month, but he talked about back in January when AMC had 100 million shares, and I guess about at that time, Mass, about 50 million were owned by Wanda. Does that sound right?
Yes. Yep.
Adam said half of the float was owned by an institution, which I presume to be Wanda. And so that left about 50 million of free float. And on January 22nd, if I get these dates muddled, guys, just bear with me. It's just a story. January 22nd, 2022, when the thing ran up, 1.25 billion shares traded, or 25 times the float. And he closed by saying, and I find that to be proof that institutions sold all their shares to you, the retail investors. That was how he ended his story. I want you to reflect on that for a second, because he did not say, I find that to be proof of billions of synthetics. That's not at all what he said. But again, the clickbaiters and the people who want to drive a certain narrative take his story and create a totally different narrative. You could say that some of those billion shares were rehypothecated or naked shorts sold by market makers to facilitate market liquidity? Almost certainly, yes. Right? That's just normal how it works. But 25x is not unusual in a retail FOMO run-up. Case in point, I want you to look at the volume and the turnover of Tough Built TBLT on Friday. Guess what the turnover was on that one? If AMC was 25x in January, you might be blown away to hear that Tough Built's turnover on Friday was 67x. The float turned 67 times on Tough Built Friday, and almost every day last week it turned 10, 15, 20, 25x easy. Now I know it's a lower float, but I'm just saying these type of 10, 20, 25x turns are not unusual when a stock is going through a squeeze. And it's not necessarily hard evidence of anything other than a lot of people are trading and shares are changing hands at a frenetic pace. I did hear people today call it hard evidence of synthetics. I'm going to respectfully disagree. And that's just my opinion. You can love it or hate it. I don't really care. But I'm going to just weigh in with my opinion. And Mash, you can add yours, whatever you think.
Somebody asked about short interest. I believe, according to Fintel, it's at 132 right now, or TBLT. Yeah. Did you mention about the offer? Not the offering, but that they were going to dump some shares. We talked earlier, right? The TBLT.
Yeah. Let's get into that when we talk about the CB, the cumulative delta volume.
Okay. All right. You want me to just jump right into that and just
let's go right into
my
that.
2 cents? Okay.
Take it away.
All right. So on the so I know a lot of you guys have talked about the video that came out.
Can I just add one thing about synthetics? Because you and I did talk about what do we think is the number of synthetics, right? If it's not tens of billions, Tony, do you think there's some synthetics? I don't want to leave you guys with negative energy. I absolutely
we came with a number.
There are absolutely some synthetics, right? We know about rehypothecation and shorted shares. And I think in my estimate, a realistic number is double the float between rehypothecation, which will not show on a short report or any report. It's just my broker loaned shares to your broker who then sold them to you. It doesn't necessarily mean that they were shorted. We know about rehypothecation, and we know about short interest, which is another 18, 20%. So let's just call it double the float is, I think, very realistically could be in existence. And that is also not counting any derivative products created in the options chain or created outside the options chain, exotic derivatives, i.e. Archegos style manipulation, things that nobody is tracking. Nobody, not banks, not SEC. There's all sorts of things, right? I don't want you to think I'm saying nothing of that exists. We just don't have the way of quantifying it, right?
Right. Correct. I'm sorry I'm smiling, but your boyfriend's making me laugh from time to time. Do you want to address this real quick? Tony AA said that in January, the stock traded over 25 times, 1.25 billion shares when there was only 50 million. Now there is 513 million shares. Should we think that means there are 1.7 actual shares out there? I think is what Eric's trying to say.
No, but I think that you could think that if you multiply 513 times 20 or 25x, next time there is a short squeeze, that will be the turnover. What's 500 million times 25?
500 million.
530. Let's just say 513 million times 25x. It would not be inconceivable for the turnover in the next short squeeze, if and when there is one, to be 13 billion shares.
Yep.
That's what that means to me. And why do I say that? Because I look at short squeezes every week. And this type of turnover in a retail FOMO short squeeze scenario is not uncommon. And what does every single one of them do? BBIG, MMAT, Sundial, Tough Built, all of them have this massive turnover, and then they come right back down. To me, all it is evidence that there was a lot of trading going on. People jockeying for position, trying to make some money. Sometimes, like on DWAC, I was in and out of that play 3 times in one day. Imagine if you're a high-speed trading firm could be in and out of a play 1,000 times in a day, 10,000 times. Absolutely logical and conceivable to think that the volume would be that high.
Absolutely.
They're trying to make pennies.
Yep. Yeah. Wes Christian, Phil Burgess, good evening. He says, Wes Christian thinks there are 9 billion to 28 billion synthetic AMC shares. I've never heard him say that much, Phil, but I know that Wes probably knows more about these dealings behind closed door than any other attorney in the United States, just because of how involved he's been with short sellers and everything that went on with the overstock case that he represented Patrick Burns for. So, not that I don't believe him, but if that's his estimate, I would give some credence to that. Although that number seems extremely high to me, but if anybody's word I would take on that to give me a clear estimate, as far as legally, it would be Wes Christian that I can think of. LA, good evening. How you doing tonight?
Bubby says, what about FTDs? I think that they're hiding the FTDs and the difference between shorted shares and shares on loan. So we got 95 million shorted and 140 borrowed. You can take the difference, 45 million, roughly what I didn't look today what it is, but that 45 million could absolutely be used to temporarily cover FTDs in the hope that it comes down and then they're able to pay them back cheaper. So I wondered for a long time, why is the shares on loan so much higher than the shorted shares? Tens of millions usually. And it finally just struck me that's got to be being used to kick the can down the road on FTDs. They only need a couple million a day max.
That's it. Yep.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right. Just my opinion.
I don't even know if we've discussed that or not before, but it makes sense. Eric says, no, Tony, he said in a single day, it traded 1.25 billion times. Realistically, that's impossible unless they're being lent out via share lending. Also said an institution owned 25 million. What the hell? I think he said 50 and it was Wanda, Eric. Right?
He said it traded 25x and the total volume was 1.25 billion. And again, if you think that that is impossible, I'll remind you that Tough Built traded 6,700% the float on Friday, 67x the float. This is not uncommon, guys, in short squeeze plays for massive turnover of the float. It's just not.
Yes. Aron tweets about how he enjoys playing chess. Take that and interpret it as you wish, says Diva Star Omega. You know what? I think this weekend might be the last time I try to interpret any tweets from Ryan Cohen or Adam Aron. I think I'm going to put that on the shelf for a little bit until things start getting a little more serious. Number letter says the real question is, how long have they been shorting AMC?
A long time.
A long time. Yeah, since probably late 2019. Or what? Early 2020, probably.
2018. As soon as they started taking on all that debt, I bet some people started shorting it.
Which was what? Fall of 2018, right?
Yep.
Fall
somewhere around there. Pantheon's the expert on the when all the debt was taken on.
He is. Yeah, Pantheon knows the answers to that. Absolutely. Let's say hey to some people real quick. People making progress. Good evening, Carl J. How you doing tonight? Daryl Krager, Wedmore. We got a bunch of people just jumped in. We're up to 500. Number letters. Good evening, Eric. We said hi to you. I'm sure Tony's aware you're here. Bobby Stamper, Francisco, Buddy Pines. You want to take some tea? Eric Petronas.
DevStat says Adam Aron tweets about how he enjoys playing chess. I do put a lot of faith in Adam Aron, just like I do with Ryan Cohen, and I hope these guys have some good tricks up their sleeves. That is why we're still here talking about these, right? Both of these companies have their own set of issues. Either they're stringing us along or they really have something. So I'm going to believe them until my patience wears out, or the stock goes to zero. But
don't say that.
Jack Wolf says expecting a barcode Tuesday. What's up, Jack? Rico says someone asked, why do I vape off camera? Yes, YouTube will demonetize the video. It happened one time. I was actually smoking a cigar and they demonetized it. We work hard for these 6 cents an hour that we make on YouTube. We're certainly not getting rich off of YouTube, guys. You can go on socialblade.com and look at anybody's income, and it's pretty close to accurate. Might be a little bit low, but pretty close to accurate. We're not here for the income and every few extra dollars that we can get by not purposely demonetizing ourselves by smoking on camera helps.
Yeah, I got enough with my words. I got problems with my words enough. I don't need to add to it with unnecessary actions. Pam, good evening, my dear. How are you tonight? What were you going to say? Tony, you were going to say something right before that. I know I paused you. What were you going to say?
No, hi to Pam. Hi to Eric, the dude on the couch, MC Prosperity, Wreck the Night. Let's talk about Joel, Mark, Kyle. Let's talk about cumulative delta volume. That was an interesting. I know a lot of people saw that video. You and I both dug into it independently. Tell us what you found. I already covered it this afternoon. I want to
First
hear
of
your
all,
take.
let me just say congratulations to that guy who just popped up with 5 videos and already has almost as many views as I do after a year and a half and more subscribers. Shout out to you, my friend Jay Douglas.
All you got to do is put Lou is right in the title and woo.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Yeah. But anyway, so I know there was a lot of hype about that. I got some messages from some of you guys asking about it. And so we did some digging. Me and Tony talked about it yesterday and today. And, basically what we came up with, and Tony brought some things to my attention that I didn't think of, and maybe vice versa. Maybe not. Maybe Tony already knew this. But, we talked about cherry picking data, pulling out one indicator and saying this is the proof that backs up a statement, regardless of who made the statement. It doesn't matter if it's Lou. In this case, it happens to be, but it could be anybody, right? And cherry picking that happens a lot in this community. People like to pull out one little piece of information, extract that from the larger picture, and try to point to that and say it's evidence. Now, if you just go look up a basic definition of what CDI is, or CDV, the volume, it's basically an indicator that's showing you the difference between market and sell. What is it, Tony? Market orders and
market buy minus market sell.
Market sell, right? So I think as far from what I can tell in that video, he was trying to say this here is the proof that the synthetics must be huge. And I know a lot of you are saying stop using the word synthetics in the chat. Call them what, counterfeits? You said. Counterfeits, however, whatever term you want to use. But that cherry picking, it can get you into trouble. And if you don't take into all the other factors that went in, and something as simple as the fact that AMC added shares during that time, they added a lot of shares. And I know he put up a chart comparison between GME and AMC to show the difference between the indicator for CVD, and he didn't take into consideration that GME added no shares during that time. There was no dilution compared to AMC. So there's a million things that, that's a great indicator that he found that and he was able to pull that out. But does it justify there being 9 billion shares out there? I would say no.
I actually have I have TradingView and I have the chart if you want to pull it up.
Yes, please. Here we go. Oh, this is the exact chart he had, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
you can, if you have TradingView, you can just turn on this indicator, CDV. This is exactly what he showed.
Yep, that's it. So he was pointing here to this area from January, the run up, and showing this indicator and that huge drop. And then he compared it to GME and did a side by side. Now, I think one of the biggest things that he's missing when he points this out is between that time period from the end of Q4 2020 to the end of Q1 2021. I think they added like 200 million shares during that time, Tony. Does that sound right to you? Something around there, right?
I have that too. January of 2021, it went from in September of 2020, we had 100 million, and by February 1st, let's just level set it. By March, it was 450 million.
I mean, you're talking about 250. You doubled the float and some. So that's got to be taken in consideration. And another thing is,
let me put this tab up just so people can see the curve. I'm not sure why it's a straight line up. Let me move this tab over to here. This is on Y charts, which is another paid thing, but there is a tab for shares outstanding for any ticker that you can pull up. So here's January. You can see where the float increased right here.
Yep. Yep. Now that's huge. That's a huge factor that we're not taking in consideration when you're trying to apply that data to it, especially to a short squeeze.
Talk about the main thing though, market buy versus market order. What's missing in this chart? What's missing down here? All the limit orders.
Right. It doesn't take into consideration any limit orders. Thank you. Another thing, it's huge. So not taking into consideration any of that. That's an issue.
So in the reading that I did on this indicator and when it is useful, all of the documentation I looked at said you cannot use this indicator in isolation to tell you anything, but it will tell you in combination with other indicators when massive frenzy is happening. Because what happens when a massive frenzy is going on, whether it's buying or selling, people are throwing market orders at Wall Street to get their shares bought or sold because they don't want to fuck around with limit orders. That's why you see, there was massive market orders placed, selling right here, massive market orders placed, buying in June. And that's when this indicator is useful. But when it's just a blasé, normal month and half the volume is limits, I'm just making up a number, half the volume. But you can't really tell much from this, and you certainly can't expect that this indicator is going to rise all the way back up here if limit orders are not even counted in the indicator.
Yes.
So for me, it's interesting. I learned something new, but I'm not counting on this as evidence of anything, just in my opinion.
Yeah, we talked about it right as soon as I got home last night. I called Tony right up and said, "Hey, did you see this? What do you think about this?" And so it's interesting, and it's good that people are be able to find these things and pull up these numbers. And if the video was just basically, "Hey guys, look what I found. Here's an indicator of what was going on back," but to say that Lou is right and this proves that there must be billions of synthetics or counterfeits, whatever word you guys want to use, it's just not true, in my opinion.
Someone
I think
asked,
it's a little bit of an overstatement.
Someone asked, what is the indicator? If you go to my 2 p.m. live stream, in the pinned comments, I put a link to a document from a trading website about the name of the indicator and all of the pros and cons of it. The name of the indicator is Cumulative Delta Volume. Delta being the difference between market buy and market sell. So go to that 2 p.m. video, look in the comments. It's a pinned comment from me, and there is a great link. And you can Google it yourself. And there's some YouTube videos also of people explaining this indicator. But I encourage you all to do your own due diligence. This is just our thoughts. We're just sharing. We could be wrong. But I think we both independently looked into it and kind of came to the same conclusion that it's interesting, but can't be used by itself to be evidence of anything.
Yeah, and we try to do that, guys, as much as possible. We try not to influence each other on things. We try to just say, hey, let's go look up this, and then we'll come back to the table and talk about it in a couple hours. You tell me what you think. I'll tell you what I think. That's how we try to do it, right? We don't try to influence each other on these decisions. And if we disagree, which we disagreed on something today, we just disagree. That's all. It's very simple. We try not to get you guys too fired up when it's not necessary. Try. And Eric, as soon as the move is finished, I will allow you to send me a 49ers hat, and I will wear it during a live stream, I swear. A lot of people, Jennifer, good evening. How you doing tonight? A lot of people asking about TBLT. We did speak on it a little bit when we first started. Do you have anything to add, Tony, about TBLT or
about BBIG?
No, TBLT.
Oh, tough built. Let's get into that real quick. Let me put up the Weeble. Don't use Weeble, guys, but I like the charts for live streams, so that's why I have it. It just looks more crisp than some of the other ones. Day trading tab. Just to be clear, because there's a lot of lying and misinformation going on about me, in my community tab on YouTube, I posted a screenshot, and there's also a video from July 18th where was the first time I was really asked my thoughts on Tough Built when it was at $2. In the morning before the market opened, I told, there's a screenshot of my Discord post to my group. This will be the #1 ticker that I'm watching today for momentum. It could go really, really up or really, really down. And later that day, I made a live stream where we talked about it as well. Not because I wanted to talk about Tough Built, but because someone asked me a question. And I expanded on that a little more in the video. Unfortunately, people only hear with one ear what they want to hear. And you guys know how I am. I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to tell you what I like about any play and what I don't like, because that's how I analyze everything. Everything. What I will always tell you, momentum, is you don't need to know a whole lot to play the momentum. You can jump in, write it up, and jump out. But why do I look at fundamentals, or why do I dig deeper on momentum? Because I want to get an idea in my head. Could this run really, really high? That's why I do a little more digging than some people. And what I said was very clear. This could be a big runner. The cost to borrow is high. The short interest is high. Positives. If retail gets behind this, and we talk about this every fucking day in the Discord, play with retail, play the momentum, make your money, get in, get out. Every day we're looking for those. I'm up at 5:36 in the morning posting these plays. What is hot today? I have no discrimination. We will play anything. And we did post it on 7/18 saying, watch this one to play. So let's just put that aside. I never said, don't play this stock. I never shorted it. I've never shorted a single stock in my life. But TBLT did recently complete 1 for 150 reverse split in May. So I heard people saying on their videos, Tough Built was recently over $100. It must be a great stock. People just loved it recently. What they neglected to do is look up anything about this company. And this $100 to $200 price range was actually $1 back in April and May. Right? And this price that you're looking at down here of $5 is about, what's $5 mass divided by 125? A nickel.
Yes.
If you back out the reverse split, this is about a nickel stock.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we said this 2 weeks ago.
So this is my first step in kind of ascertaining what's the background of this stock. It's a company in trouble. They had to do a reverse split 150 times to avoid getting delisted and prop their stock up back to a couple dollars. And that's interesting to know if you're setting yourself a price target. And you can see right here, boom, what happened after a reverse split. By the way, a little aside, why I'm not too excited about Sundial's upcoming reverse split. This is what typically happens. Boom, fall. That being said, keeping on tough built, the financials are something I look at. They're not important in a momentum play, but if you're setting a price target, is this going to $8, $20, or $200? You should know what are people going to be willing to pay for it, and why would a short be shorting it? This is some of the worst losses in terms of earnings per share that I've ever seen on this company. You can go look that up yourself. We don't need to beat a dead horse. It's not important really for playing momentum. It is important for setting your top level price target. So all I told everybody was, if you trade it, I would recommend, if I was trading it, to have very tight trailing stop loss. So you can ride it up, capture all that move up, and when it comes down, you're not going to be surprised by a 30% drop in one day. That's all I said.
Yep.
Now, some people only heard the negative things. They just forget that I said play the momentum. We will always play momentum on this channel. We love making money every day. But if you don't believe me, go back to July 18th and listen to that live stream, or go in the community tab and look at the posts that I put. I'm tired of people lying about me. Not going to say the names. It's not important. We're not going to deal with clout chasers or trolls by calling them out by name, but I'm going to defend my reputation. I say things that people don't say because I want you to have a real price target in mind that's realistic. You guys get bag-holded, you become bag holders by listening to these people who don't know what they're doing, telling you crazy things about these stocks, where they're going to go. Now, what happened today? All right. I also said on July 18th, twice or three times, I had a high level of concern about the risk of upcoming dilution. Said it at least twice on July 18th. And that is exactly what happened today. Oh, Tony Denaro, you always just want to prove that you're right. No, this is not my first fucking rodeo. How many times have we seen this? A stock runs up, they dilute, and the price comes crashing down. Hello, AMC, for starters.
Start there, yeah.
For more recent memory, Redbox. But this morning in pre-market, when this thing was trading at $8, we got a dilution notice. And it was called a private placement. Here's the press release. 20 million private placement, price at a premium to market, blah, blah, blah. I already went over this afternoon at 2 o'clock. I wanted to say one other thing about this, because someone asked a great question in the comments, but it's a private placement. Private placements, first of all, are always dilution as far as Wall Street's concerned. That's why you saw an immediate price drop. And you guys need to look at what Wall Street reacts to things and let that be your lead indicator that there might be a problem, because people smarter than you and computers smarter than you are making immediate reactions. And if you ignore that and just cast it off, I'm telling you, you're not going to win this game in the long run. This is
that's why it's I was going to say, that's why it's so important that everyone try to do your own DD, because no matter who is giving you this knowledge, and that includes myself and Tony, always double check us, because we're imperfect. And we're not, I should say, we're not perfect by any means. So that's why it's always good to do your own research and DD. And real quick, Maggie, thank you so much for keeping the lights on. Appreciate you, Maggie.
I'm going to
Sorry,
share. I'm just going to share a couple of highlighted sentences, and if I just completely botch this, guys, I don't always get everything right. By 100%, come in the comments in this video or in the comments when we're done and tell me what I missed, because I've read through this a few times, and there's still a chance that I misunderstood something. Right? All of these are complicated legalese that not everybody understands. I get it. And even I get it wrong sometimes, but here's what I see in this $20 million private placement being key. And we're going to talk about that in a second, but it says 4 million shares of common stock and the preferred investment options to purchase another 8 million shares at an offering price of $5 per share and private placement price at a premium to market. All right, highlighted. I'm just going to give you the Reader's Digest version. An exercise price of $5 per share, exercisable immediately. Okay. And it is expected to close on or about July 27th. So early heads up. Tomorrow, anything could happen. July 27th, this is expected to close. So you got 2 days. Now, someone said, but it's a private placement. And by the rules, technically, a private placement should not be resellable to the public, right? If you follow this stuff really closely, that is actually correct. And it talks about it down here. The securities may not be offered or sold absent registration with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Why? Because it was not a public offering. However, there's always exceptions and ways around the rules that these guys know inside and out. And if you're looking at a company that has massive losses, why would you go in and buy $20 million worth of private placement for $5 unless you had an out? Pursuant to the registration rights agreement with the investors, the people that are buying this stuff, the company, Tough Built, has agreed to file a registration statement with the SEC covering the resale of the securities. So Tough Built is, in my reading of this, paving the way with a filing with the SEC for these guys to immediately or at some point in the very near future be able to resell this private placement into the market. So at some point, could it be tomorrow? Could it be the 27th? Could it be a week or a month from now? These will be offered into the float. And I think that I'm going to stick by what I said this morning. The timing, I don't know, guys. Could it be the 27th? Could it be a week from now? It doesn't really matter because Wall Street's already reacting to it. That's all you need to know. The float is going to increase from 2 million to over 10 million. And that will by default drop the short interest. And Ortex, as we know, because you guys have been in some of these plays. What was the one where Ortex was delayed on updating the actual float and the short interest, and then boom, all of a sudden they dropped it, and it was like rug pull everybody. Ortex is going to lag, depending, because they got to. These might not all be sold in one fell swoop, right? If you bought these with the exercise price of $5, you'd want to keep the share price of this stock over $5, right? Because if it drops under $5, you're not going to make money.
Nope.
They're gonna parcel them out to retail and string you along as they can in the $5, $6, $7 range, and let you load the boat on shares, slowly, unwittingly increasing the float until they're done making their money, and then you just made a rich guy rich and bought up another 10 million shares. That's the story of what I think is going to happen. The exact timing, I don't know. But it was important for me to get that info out. Could it go up tomorrow? Absolutely. Could it go up on Wednesday? Sure. But you need to know the story of what's going to happen when people are telling you this thing's going to 20 or $200. Wall Street knows dilution's coming. That's all I want you to know. I don't care what you do with your position.
At 10 this morning, me and Tony said, this is going to barcode the rest of the day. No doubt about it. And then we didn't talk about it again, right, T? It was like about 10 o'clock. We're like, oh, that's it. It's all over. It'll barcode the rest of the day. And sure enough. Jana said Fidelity. Agree, Jana, 100%. I can't stand Fidelity's charts. That's one thing I wish they would fix. Ace23 said this next raise hike should activate a squeeze. I don't know about that Ace23. I hope you're right on that, but I see the actual opposite happening. Clark, good evening tonight. How you doing? And Jennifer, good evening. I see Jeffrey Roach, Domainer, Eric. We got some new people in the chat. Just want to say, hey, I watched Lion Trader's video today, says Clark. The transparency rule will come into effect in about 12 months. Do you think that would force the short squeeze when that comes into effect in 12 months? Clark, I hope we're not still doing this in 12 months. I don't know if I'm going to make it that long. So, but I think that this is the government working against us clearly here. The SEC doesn't want to give us a leg up right now, right? Clearly, they're not ready to do anything. What about Robot Godzilla?
I'm done pinning any of my hopes on a short squeeze. I mean, I say that tongue in cheek. We never pinned our hopes on any regulation, right? We made fun. We made fun of our friend in New York for the Mike Gensler, transparency, Robot Godzilla. It's never going to be about a regulation. That's not going to instigate the short squeeze. I'm going to double down on what I said. The short squeeze in AMC or GameStop is going to be an unknown catalyst that the hedge funds did not anticipate. And they can anticipate every regulation that's coming.
Right. They weren't ready for Roaring Kitty. They weren't ready for him. He took him down. By the way, did you see there was a video out? Someone said that Melvin's still hanging around.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, how do we know?
I have no idea. There was actually no proof to say that. It was a Reddit post that was just pulled up and reiterated.
It's getting really tough to come up with content. People are having to get really creative.
They are. It's getting tough.
These people that actually do put out 5, 10, 20, 40 videos a day got to get real creative to keep that money train flowing and get eyeballs coming back. And they will literally say whatever they need to say. And that, again, is why I'm here. Even though I'm not popular and I'm not energetic and I'm sure as hell not pretty, I'm not going to allow people to clickbait you guys to death with nonsense. So when you want a level set and just kind of like to breathe easy, be in a Zen moment, know that the fundamentals of this company are improving and we're on the right track. As long as I believe that, I'm going to keep on focusing on that because that is why I am in this play until the unknown catalyst or maybe the Pounce, whatever it is, will be the unknown catalyst. I have no idea what he has planned.
Yeah. Notice we didn't sell any AMC today. Someone's talking about Adam Aron's tweet that I have not seen. So let me pull it up real quick about chess. Man, this is getting crazy. Oh, man, we're 2 followers away from 600 on Massalorian's Twitter. 598. Okay, let's see.
Eric Bissell says something about Tom Zazzulo. Guys, I do not watch any clickbait channels, and he's one of the worst. Sorry, Tom. Finance News, Tom Zazzulo, Frank Nez, 3 of the worst possible YouTubers or content people covering this play right there. I don't name out too many people, but those 3 I will most definitely, without hesitation, say if you're watching this, you're filling your brain with mush.
Yes. Tom Zulolo was one of the first guys I did a video on because of the clickbait with the 500,000 price tag for AMC back in May of 2021. He was saying that 500,000 was guaranteed by some ex-hedge fund people. And that was one of the first videos I ripped on another YouTuber for because it was outrageous then and it's outrageous now. Let's see. So Adam Aron put up a tweet. Let me see if I can just pull it up real quick. Do you want me to see if we can look at this real quick to you? Just see what it is because a bunch of you guys have mentioned it. So let's at least address it. Maybe there's something good here. I don't know. You never know. Let's see. By the way, to those in the Twitterverse, just in case you guys are unaware, I like to play chess like this guy. My guess is he wins far, far, far more games than he loses. What's that, speed chess?
He's one guy playing like 20 people at the same time.
That's crazy. Wow.
Oh, man.
Someone wrote already, holy moly, this is bullish AF. This is insanely bullish. Someone wrote GME. Morant's rants. Oh boy, look at this. This dude plays tic-tac-toe, not chess. All right, let's get out of here. Oh boy. I was just whoops. We were just singing Morant's praises. What happened? Now he's shitting on AMC again.
We don't listen to him when it comes to AMC. We already know.
No, absolutely not. Our fundamentals are looking much better than GME's right now. Believe that. By the way, all right. I don't know. What do you think, Tony? Anything
about that tweet?
The 20. Yeah, 20
I don't know.
1?
I mean, Aron he's setting people up, and he better effing have something.
Seriously.
In the next couple of weeks, or I'm literally going to lose my patience.
Yeah.
This is the most amped up. I feel like he's gotten investors with a series of repetitive tweets talking about Pounce and 3D chess, 5D chess, whatever. If I don't get something,
Brooks,
if I don't get something astounding in the month of August, I'm going to have to rethink how I spend the rest of this year.
Mm-hmm. And that's coming from me too. As soon as I'm in the new place.
It's really hard to make a lot of money in this market. And I've got over 5 figures of my cash tied up in this stock, just ding dong, Pounce, bouncing back and forth. And there is other money to be made. That doesn't mean that I would be bearish on AMC. Like I said, we're on the right trajectory, but I don't like being lied to either. So he better fucking have something for us in the month of August. And I'm not putting a date on it. He didn't, say August 4th, we're announcing the Pounce. But there better be something behind what he's saying, because I don't like being toyed with.
Yes. Don't believe the August 5th date. I don't know. That's just going to be the release of that movie Bullet Train, as far as I know, guys. That's what that tweet was talking about. Ace 23 says, you think the rate hike can activate the squeeze? Ace 23. I don't believe so. Tony, what's your thoughts on that? I don't think that a rate hike is going to activate a squeeze. I think we're going to see prices drop.
Depending on what the rate comes in at, if it meets expectations or not, is going to decide the market direction. And I'm not personally on my channel, I'm not a fan of the market falling, because it's going to take everything down. However, in the universe of possible scenarios, a massive market correction could get some hedge funds in trouble. So although that could be a catalyst to make someone get out of the business and cover a bunch of positions, I'm just not, I would not like to watch my portfolio and everyone in the country's drop another 25 or 50%. So I'm hoping that whatever they announce meets expectations, but I don't know what he's going to say. I don't have a crystal ball. Prepare for anything.
Red Star 7311 says, so is there a fear of AMC a part of the Great Reset like we've seen with stocks like Amazon and Google? Red Star, I don't think that's the case. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. But what I will say is that I think the Great Reset is very real. And our administration is playing a role into it right now with the policies that we're seeing. Things are being reset. They have been since the pandemic came along. So clearly you can see the middle.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, you're good.
Clark asked, is it possible the hedge funds have hedged for a market downturn? I always said that, Clark. That's been one of my tenets for the last 6 months, is look at all the puts they have. And we know that a lot of them are short. But there was that recent press release saying BlackRock lost over $1 trillion so far. on
1.7, yeah.
equities. Their bond department was doing okay. That actually caught me by surprise. So I'm gonna say no one knows. Depends on how they're positioned and what derivatives they have. My belief system said that any hedge fund worth their salt could have seen a market correction coming at the end of last year, because most of us did, and they should have been adequately prepared for it. But I have not dug deep into BlackRock's losses. I don't know if that was all equity losses or just investor money being pulled out. So I can't 100% comment on it.
Retail is gonna already bought up those 20 million shares, says Jeffrey. I didn't know that they had talked about that. Was that in the live stream, Jeff? They talked about that and said that those are already bought up.
Yeah, I mean they're not. They were a private placement, so retail hasn't bought anything. But the turnover has been 10, 20, 30, 60x. That's 2 million shares flipping 10,
constantly.
20, 60 times a day.
Over.
And I know many investors that were in and out of Tough Built several times in a day, just like I was in DWAC several times per day. And high-speed trading firms, thousands or tens or hundreds of thousands of times
multiples
per day.
of thousands, right?
So no,
multiples
that was not retail buying up 20 million shares. No, they're not even. It's not even going to close till the 27th.
Harold Murillo says, we want honesty, not popularity. And I said this to someone in the, by the way, if you commented on the last 2 videos I put up, I did go back and answer all the comments for the last 5 days. So if you were waiting for an answer, all the comments should be answered. But I got a lot of comments talking about me doing, that video where I talked about Lou and Al from Boston for a little bit, which I kind of did lightheartedly. Like, I didn't do it as really a smear. It was more of a joke. But yeah, guys, I said this to someone. Someone said, about being better. It's not really about that. I think we got to stop thinking about this as a popularity contest and who has the coolest YouTube channel and who's the best creator. You start thinking about, there's a lot of people's money at risk here, including myself and Tony's. And it's not a popularity contest. We need people who are going to be straight up and honest with each other. If we can't do that, then we got nothing here. So if I'm going to continue to point that out, it's for the 1 or 2 people who, or maybe 3 people who will watch that video. And next time they go to Al's channel and hear something ridiculous, they just say, all right, I'm out of here. That's enough. And they jump on with us on this bandwagon with myself and Tony and, the guys that we associate with, and get on the same page with people that know what's really going on.
I can assure you, we don't spend our day looking at Twitter and other people's channels and Reddit to find things to call people out on, right? If we wanted to do that, we would be busy 60 hours
all
a
day.
I make my videos based on what you guys ask. So if something is getting a lot of questions to me in DMs or comments or in the Discord, I will go look it up and make a video about it with my thoughts. But believe me, I could never sleep for 5 years just based on all the nonsense that is on Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. So I'm not ever picking on anyone ever. I'm answering the most common questions that you guys are asking. That's it. I've had to stop looking at all that other stuff because it makes me so angry every day.
I mean, we brought Marantz Rants on. This is the guy who hates AMC just to we get a better, clearer picture about GME, just to get a little insight and maybe an advantage and a step up before the split came, right? And that's not popular. We caught a lot of shit for that. But he has a better understanding of the dynamics and the fundamentals and everything else besides AMC, behind GME, compared to me and Tony. So it seemed like the right thing to do for you guys, and even though we caught shit. But we're not. I said we need to rename this channel The Boring Guys, because we don't have all that hopium, and I know that's not popular, but it is what it is. I mean, after all those dates and things that people said were going to be catalysts and this was going to be it. Here we are at 1550 on July 24th, 5th, 6th, whatever it is today. So we can talk about that all night till we're blue in the face. It really has gotten us nowhere. Let's see. Maggie, again, thank you so much, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie. We love you.
Appreciate you. I'm not asking a chair. I'm not Clint Eastwood, says Mark. Jerry says, how does AMC have better fundamentals than GME? AMC has 5. Look at the, well, there's a couple things, Jerry. I actually finished reading question first. 5 billion in debt, 5 billion in back rent. I don't believe that's the case. 12 billion in liabilities with 225 million gross in 2022. This year, please make sense of that statement. So Tony, what was it that, well, let me see what we had gone back when we had looked. 5 billion in back rent. I don't know if I saw that number. Have you heard that number?
I don't know that we said AMC has better fundamentals than GameStop. We said they are moving at a improving trajectory compared to GameStop. GameStop has no debt, if I recall correctly, and a shit ton of cash. AMC has a shit ton of cash and a shit ton of debt. The biggest weakness in AMC is 5 billion in debt.
Yep, by far. That's our biggest issue. Yeah, which is why we keep talking about a coin, some way to get rid of that debt, right?
Or getting profitable.
Or getting profitable. One of the two. And I think that when we talk about AMC, yeah, when we're saying AMC, not necessarily that the fundamentals are better on the company. I think that there is a lot of enthusiasm about the movies, the way they opened back up and smashed all these records that went through, the forecast that we have, things that we know definitely that are coming. But we're putting a lot of faith in Aron and Ryan Cohen, and we probably have some bias a little bit. I definitely know I do. I definitely know I have a little bit of bias, even though I own both stocks. I own more AMC. So, you got to take it with a grain of salt when it comes to GME, which is why we brought Marantz on, right? But, I mean, in our opinion, go ahead.
I always try and test my bias, like get other people to bounce ideas off of. I don't want to ever be so convinced that I'm right that I'm not willing to listen to other viewpoints. And like you were saying, that's why we have Marantz rants on here. That's why we have continuous discussions in the Discord about GameStop. But I'm in general not a fan of retail shops that have inventory and thousands of locations and
brick and mortar
employees. I'm not a fan of any of those. If they're making money, that's one thing. And AMC, yes, they have thousands of locations and they got brick and mortar, so they need to get profitable.
Different business model, though.
GameStop is losing money and not really making improvements. And Marantz rants was he talked very positively about the NFT marketplace. But for me, I'm not an NFT expert, so I'm just going to say that. I want to see more than an NFT marketplace for the transformation of GameStop. Something else digital, something else in the Web 3.0.
Disruptive technology.
Yeah,
disruptive
something
technology.
else that's not dependent on brick and mortar stores. And then I'll say done deal. But I'm not quite over the finish line on GameStop being a slam dunk until I see it. And when we see it, if it's as beautiful as the most hopeful people are hoping, that will be the unknown catalyst.
It'll move. Yep. 100%. Yep. Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about the brick and mortar, different business model, right? You have to go into an AMC if you want to go to the movies. If you want to buy a game, you can get it from Amazon. You can get it on eBay. You can download it from Stream, Microsoft, right?
That's the biggest problem, right? I used to be a GameStop card carrying member when my kids were little, and then it all switched to digital downloads, and we never went back to a GameStop. That sticks in my brain as like real life example of where the industry's headed. Ryan's got to transform the company.
Yeah. And just so you know, guys, when we were leading up to the split, before we went out to seek out Marantz to bring him on, I'd gone back to look I had gone through YouTube for a week looking at customer service experiences, what managers were saying on YouTube, just trying to get any inside aspect onto what was going on behind closed doors at the company. And there was a lot of mixed feelings out there. A lot of people said, who were also card carrying members, that they weren't allowed to make certain returns. A lot of policies had changed. I try to take all that stuff into consideration. It's not just always like a technical analysis on everything or straight FOMO, right? There's a million different scenarios and factors you got to take in. So I think that's our take on GME and the difference between GME and AMC. Now, if Cohen comes out with some amazing disruptive technology, like Tony said, that's the type of catalyst that they won't be ready for and that we'll be able to take advantage of, hopefully, right? This is the type of thing that we talk about when we mean, say, an unknown catalyst. 24 in the money says, when was the last time an AMC insider bought AME? Good point. Okay, let's address that. 24 the money, talking about Ryan Cohen, who just recently bought 100,000 shares as of April or March of this year. And Adam Aron has been selling, I believe, up until January of this year. Was that the last time he sold to you?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a valid point.
It's a great point. Yep.
It should not be ignored. I don't suggest any of you ignore that. That is a positive in the GameStop column and a negative in the AMC column. 100%.
Absolutely. Yep. Eric says, okay, Mass and Tony, step into CEO shoes and tell us what you two would do to correct the AMC profitability issues. What are your two ideas? Oh, without raising prices? I mean, can we raise prices? Because that would be what my go-to right away. Although in an inflation market, that's not great.
I think that, Super Steven or Just Another Ape has done a lot of good coverage on the Paramount consent decree sunsetting on August 7th. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the channel Just Another Ape and watch his videos. He's done very good coverage. I've been talking with him along with others in our Discord about this for many weeks. And he took the initiative to get the videos out. And he has friends with closer ties to the movie industry than I do. And he was, as far as I know, the first one that really started talking about this. So all the credit to Steven. Now, people ripped off his idea and started talking about Disney and Netflix. But he was putting feelers out to many of us content creators. And then people ran with their own different narratives. But I think there is some major change in the movie industry happening, maybe some partnership opportunities that we may not be privy to until after August 4th or August 7th. That could be something that Adam is working on that we may find out about in August. Paramount consent decree being a long-standing, decades-old Supreme Court decision, putting limitations on what can happen in the industry. I'm not going to go all into that tonight. Go to Steven's channel, Just Another Ape, and watch his videos. And thank you, Steven, for all your hard work on that.
Yeah, he did a great job. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, just simply put, the Paramount decree is basically so you can't have a monopoly and studios can't completely run the theater industry. But definitely go more into Steven goes much more in depth than that.
And, Adam either made a monumentally genius decision in amassing the largest chain of theaters, or he made a monumentally stupid decision. Only time will be the judge. But I can tell you that being large after August 7th is going to be much better than being small. In fact, there were hundreds and hundreds of opposition letters filed to the sunsetting of the Paramount consent decree, and many of them were from small and independent chains because they know they're going to be wiped out. Crushed. In fact, AMC already bought some of them. So I think that Adam Aron was playing 5D chess since 2018, maybe. We'll find out. I don't know. I mean, I like I said, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think there's been a plan all along.
Yes, agreed. So, in Denaro, have you ever tested your bias with an outsider stock trader who doesn't follow AMC every day? This is a bubble.
Yeah, that is a great question. I try and spend some time every couple days on other web pages, Twitter accounts, and definitely YouTube channels that do not like AMC. And some of those guys watch this channel. Some of them are probably sitting, I see them in the comments from time to time. People that hate AMC and hate the content creators. They especially hate the clickbaiters, and I hate the clickbaiters also. So we have that in common, but they're not a believer in the stock. And I think it is important for me to listen to opposition viewpoints to constantly test my own belief system. And I've always done that. I've been trained to do that as both an economist and an engineer for my entire career, to never go into something thinking that you know it all. Always test everything and look at all possible outcomes, all possible alternatives. That's maybe what makes me different than other YouTubers and why I'm more realistic. I'm very critical. I don't always think I'm right. When I say I believe something, it's because I've done that full fishbone analysis. I'm not just reading something on Reddit and making a video. I'm spending hours or days exhausting every possible scenario, good or bad, before I tell you something.
Chris Callis, how you doing tonight? Real quick, just I think back in November or October was when I started watching or listening to the short sellers on AMC on the space calls on Twitter, just so I could get the other side's opinion on why they were going short while we decide to go long. And I think Tony's right. Having Morantz on, who's one of those haters of AMC, we took a look at his perspective. We had to watch him and we watched some of his videos before we had him on, right? Just to get an idea of who he was. Lupe, thank you very much. MC, thank you so much, man. Lupe, appreciate you, brother. And MC as well for keeping the lights on. Thank you guys so much. Let's see. Cody's asking here, why doesn't GME issue a cash dividend and just end it all? They have no debt, so they can do it. Have we talked about this before? It was AMC that the dividend was off the table for a while, right? Cohen's never talked about it.
I actually covered it in my my live stream about a week or 10 days ago, where we talked about the GME stock split. That was a 2-hour video, and no one, if you didn't watch it, no one wants to sit through all that again. But about 30 minutes in, we had a CPA on, Sufyan, who's also a member of our Discord, and he pointed out what I often say as well, and agreed that in general, companies cannot pay a cash dividend when they have negative retained earnings, and GME has negative retained earnings. So that is the primary reason that I'm going to hang my hat on, that at this moment they can't do a cash dividend for GameStop. It is not just enough to have cash. You also have to have positive retained earnings. If you want to know a little more, go watch a few minutes of CPA talk from the GME stock split video we did a week or so ago.
You want me to throw it in the chat? A link? Pam put Super Steven's YouTube channel in the chat, by the way.
Pam.
So there it is, guys.
Thank you,
Pam. And MC, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's see. Where did I stop here? Pantheon just jumped in. Pantheon, how you doing tonight, man? Pantheon, I just sent you back an email by my. I just sent you back an email. Stock buyback is not allowed until June 2023. It's in the AMC 10K. There we go. Let's see.
Maggie is wanting to know if we can talk about the DTCC. Maggie, what is it that you want us to cover up? I'm probably missed your question.
You said Maggie?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to find it. Hang on. Here we go. Please, can we talk about the DTCC? Is that what you're looking for, T? You looking for Maggie's comment?
Yeah, maybe she can retype it and I'll answer Chris's question about Redbox real quick. I did play Redbox today. I have no idea why Redbox ran up today. Matt, so you want to put my screen up real quick?
Yeah.
This is the benefit of having a good Discord group of active investors. I can't catch everything. I'm doing so much in the mornings. But someone called this out in our Discord right about here. Wait, is this today, 25th? No, let me go further back. Further back. 27th. That's what I'm looking for, right? No, 25th. 25th, yeah. 9 a.m. God damn it. I'll go to the 5-minute chart. This will make it easier. All right. Sorry. Right about here in this first 5 or 10 minutes, someone called out in our Discord, Redbox is moving. So immediately I went over. I'm always in the Discord with folks in the morning if I'm not on camera with you guys, and we're trying to make money every day. I immediately looked at this, looked at the volume, big volume jump right here. You can see that. And big momentum. There was no news, but again, and I've gone on the record saying Redbox is a wreck. It's going to be, you're going to get traded out for chicken soup shares at 45 cents a share at some point in the future. But all of that is irrelevant, guys, in a momentum moment. So I jumped in and bought right here at $3.20. I think I posted it in Discord like I always do. When I bought and when I sold right here at 570. I saw it topping out. I saw the momentum on the volume slowing. I had made $1.20 in whatever I got out at. I made $1.20 or $1.30 a share in profit and got out. Now it did go down and it ran back up a little more. I'm not trying to catch the top of every play. I'm trying to catch the momentum and lock in some gains. So in about 30 minutes, we made $1.20 a share and went on about our day. I still don't know why it ran up.
And you know, let's be honest, we knew when to get out because the ape father bought right at 571. So that was our indicator that it was time to exit the position fully. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke, guys. That's total sarcasm. That had nothing to do with Richie.
I'm very scared of this play because there was no news I could see, and I'm not going to sit here and take a chance on it falling all the way back down. I knew there was a potential it could dip and keep on going, maybe to 18 again. And tomorrow I'll take a fresh look. But I'm always looking at volume and momentum, velocity of the candles up, and how the momentum is contrasting to previous days. But I'll repeat what I have always said about Redbox. At some point in the near future, whatever you're bag holding or holding Redbox at some point, unless the deal gets called off, right? Anything can always happen, but chicken soup for the soul is you're going to get those shares, and your Redbox shares are going to be valued at 45 cents or so. No matter what you paid for them, you're going to get 45 cents worth of chicken soup for each share of Redbox you have at some point in the near future, unless that deal gets blown out. And maybe someone knew something today. Maybe there's something shaken, or I don't know. I couldn't figure it out why it ran, but that was not important. We still made money.
Yep. Maggie, she came back. She said, "Is the DTCC out of money, and how does that affect our play?"
I heard someone did a video about the DTCC. I mean, I also heard someone made a video recently, a brand new guy who was covering video games a couple months ago. Now he's covering AMC. saying, he brought up the DTCC insurance. Man, I thought we killed that nonsense a year ago, but it came up again. The DTCC does not have an insurance policy, but they do have some assets, deposits that were paid in. You can go look at their balance sheet. They have a certain amount, a line item for deposits paid in by members. And then they got trillions of dollars of assets, which are your assets. That's all of the stocks that they hold for us and institutions and in seed and company or in process of clearing. But I don't know. The DTCC is running out of money. I don't know how that would happen. I don't have time to go watch every clickbait video on that. What could catastrophically kill the DTCC, in my opinion, would be massive member
Corruption.
bankruptcy. Right?
Yes.
If all the prime brokers and brokers go bankrupt because of a market crash, the DTCC could go bankrupt. I did a video about this a long time ago. There's a bankruptcy procedure. There's a bankruptcy waterfall in their codes, in their regulations. A lot of people don't know that. Why would they have a bankruptcy process of how to close down the company and reboot it under a new name if they were insured? And I mean, just think about it. Who's going to insure them for trillions of dollars besides the federal government? That's your next step. But the federal government's just going to say you have SIPC and that's your limit. 250,000 or 500, whatever it is, depends if you have equities and or cash.
Someone just said Bitcoin is down. Where are we at? 21. It's down about 3%. Wasn't as bad as 3 weeks ago when it was dropping like 15% during the live stream that me and Tony were on in like 2 hours. Thank you, Steven. Appreciate it. Let's see. Pam's talking about oops still being in TBLT. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing right now, Pam. We're not saying it can't run again. Just depends. Is retail going to jump behind it? Institutions going to try to push it up a little more? That's a very good possibility, right?
I will say that on the record. I put out a warning of what is going to come. I'm not forecasting the date that this new dilution is going to happen. We already know that the new $20 million private placement is not going to be effective until the 27th. So at some point after that, I need to see the actual filings with the SEC and the filing for approval to register those shares. We haven't seen all that. We just seen a press release, but this is what is coming. So you have time maybe to get out of your position. You have time for maybe retail to unwittingly go in there and buy it up and get you out, or maybe even make some more money. If it's running tomorrow, I can promise you I will be back in Tough Built. I'd love to have a run from $5 to $8, right? Just like if I can make $1 or $2 per share, fuck yeah. I have nothing against Tough Built. I'm just sharing information with you guys about what is coming, so that you're not, so you have realistic expectations. That's all.
Absolutely. Doc says Aron's not going to let himself be made a fool. Yeah, Doc. I mean, he seems like a pretty down to earth guy. I don't know him personally, obviously. When he comes to New England, I'll make sure that I get in his ear. But I don't know. I don't think he's going to make himself be made a fool of either. I hope not, because that's really going to be a slap in the face to every retail trader out there. So I'm hoping that's not the case. Let's see. Fed has to pay out print too big to fail. Yeah, DTCC, I would say is. Well, are you saying they're not in that category, Tony? They're not DTCC. They're not
in the too big to fail.
Yeah, yeah. What would you say they are?
I mean, if the economy were to collapse and every major bank and hedge fund were to collapse, I think the government would do a bailout for the banks, just like in 2008. The investors are going to get fucked, just like in 2008. But they're not going to let the banks and the DTCC fail.
No. Yeah. Yeah, they're in there. They're in that group. Benjamin, good evening. How you doing tonight? Let's see. Say hey to some people real quick who just jumped on. The dude and the cow. I got your wife's boyfriend, Benny B. Good evening. Bliss, I saw. Soldier New. Adrian, how you doing, my brother? Easter Beast. Pushing with powder. Hey, yo. Hey, Animal. MC, how you doing tonight, man? Your wife's boyfriend, Greg, we got. Carl J. Keisha, good evening. How you doing tonight? Keisha, Headstock Harem. Tobias, good evening. Danny R. I think that's everybody. Just want to catch up some shout outs. Okay. Now I'm going to go right to the next question. Let's see. This is a big one. What's the latest, Massalorian? I've been off the AMC scene for a minute, but I'm still, although a small position, holding a handful of shares in the bank. Oh, let's see. What's new? So we got a couple things that we're looking for, right? We got our earnings coming up in about a week and a half. What is it? Let's say 25th. Yeah, about a week and a half, right? 10 days. 10 days till earnings. And then we have some announcement coming from Aron. He's been making some tweets recently. Some interesting tweets that, we have some ideas on what they might say. But I'm not putting anything set in stone. But I think we're looking good right now, considering the way the market, overall market has been trending. AMC and GME, for that matter, have held up pretty well, all things considered. I'm just hoping that the Fed doesn't crush everything this week, followed by GDP numbers, because I don't believe that what you're being told in the media, or at least what Janet Yellen or any of those people are telling you, is correct about where this economy is headed. I think they're full of SHIT. And they've always considered 2 back-to-back quarters of negative GDP to be a recession until 2022. And I know they changed the definition of woman in Webster's, but that's a different story for a different day. You can't just change definitions like that on a whim, because it doesn't fit your narrative.
Edward
says, this is Sparta.
Eric says that the sideways hat thing didn't work yet, Mass.
No, not yet. Not yet. That's okay. That's all right. We did that once in 18 months. It's not bad.
We're very patient.
Yes. Very. As you can tell, clearly. But just let me say something before I forget about what Tony said earlier. Yeah, we're definitely going to do some reassessing of everything, I think, after the first couple weeks in August. I know I am. I know Tony is. I know we've talked about it already. So I'm hoping that AA is not full of baloney, if you know what I mean. Pam to the moon.
Reassessing. I want to be very careful about how people hear that. I'm expecting to see a better quarter this quarter than Q4, and that to me is great, and that will keep me in this play. But I also want to know what the fuck is the Pounce.
Me too. That's important. We got to get him to spit that out at some point. Hopefully I can corner him. Like I said, I have checked his map everywhere he's gone to look at movies. He's got to be coming to New England next. So I will have a rag with chloroform, and I will just get him. We'll find somewhere to transport him back here, and we'll question him. Rafi asked about Sundial.
We talked briefly
about that. Sundial's dead.
Yeah, we're not pumpers of Sundial like our friend up in New York. I don't consider it a short squeeze play. I don't think there's hundreds of billions of synthetic Sundial shares sitting out there. I think it's just a company that has struggled and been sold off and shorted because of lack of revenue and profits. But I said also for a year, wait to buy Sundial under 50 cents. And man, people hated me for a year for saying that. But I did recently buy some Sundial under 50 cents as a flyer, a gambling play, money that if I lose that, I will never miss it. On the off chance that there is a retail run-up based on U.S. legalization or Sundial reporting a great quarterly earnings based on some of the recent acquisitions they had. So if you're buying Sundial at 30 or 50 cents and you could sell it for $1 or $2 after holding it for a couple months or 6 months, that would not be a bad deal. But I'm not going to tell you go load the boat on a speculative play. I categorize it as highly speculative, and they
Speculative.
still have a lot to prove, and they got a reverse split coming, which is going to be a negative catalyst. So you just weigh it out like that. I know some people are, you got to use both ears to hear what I said. I do own it. I'm bullish, but it's highly speculative. Be careful. I don't even know if I'm bullish. I'm just gambling on that play.
And remember, guys, a lot of this hype was also based around the fact that the federal government possibly, or this administration, this Congress in particular, would pass a legalization, a federal legalization of marijuana, which we haven't even heard barely brought up yet. I haven't seen it in any exit polls, anyone talking about marijuana, not even mentioning it. At a list of 100 problems we have right now, legalizing pot is not one of them that I can tell for the federal government.
But with the midterms coming up, it could become a issue that they want to start talking about just to get, people on their side, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, more likely Democrats. So there could be some activity in these stocks. Tilray has their earnings coming up this week, Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So and Sundial's just right around the corner. There could be something happening, but I just categorize it as highly speculative. Don't load the boat, but it's pretty cheap, 30 cents. I mean, you buy 100 shares or 1,000 shares. That's on you. I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold, but just recognize it for what it is. And we're not going to fill you full of sugar plum fairies here.
Tilray's, yes, July 28th earnings. And Sundial is, I don't see a date yet.
It's early August, right after, I think it's after the date of their reverse split cutoff, which is unfortunate. It'd be nice if it was before. I might have that backwards. It's been a week and I've slept a few times since then. Both are coming up. The reverse split cutoff date or get delisted, that date coming up soon.
Yeah, it says according to Seeking Alpha, upcoming quarter earnings is on 8/12/2022 estimated. Looking at 162 mil in revenue estimate. And what was last? So 13.7. So that would be a nice little pump for them. But yeah, we're really looking at some national news to really move that price on that, I think. Volvox Cranium says the Massalorian Sup Brothers waiters. What's up? The Massalorian Sup Brothers waiters holding have been moving lately. Look at the news. You might be surprised. It's a good play to make quick money, in my opinion. Is that am I not separating two words or something there? Am I missing something? Sup Brothers waiters holding have been moving lately. Volvox, I think you got to rewrite that out, brother. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Pantheon. Good. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Pantheon. Thank you, bro. By the way, maybe I shouldn't announce that. Pantheon, do you have anything you want to announce? If you do, you can put it in the comments. I don't know if I should bring it up, but if you want to announce it, go ahead. You can put it in the comments.
He's going to show his face?
No.
Ah.
We'll have none of that.
You heard it here first.
I wish we could break that story here. CSI says, in other words, don't count Sundial's earnings. Don't count on Sundial's earnings. I'm
actually, they acquired Alcana, which is the largest liquor distributor in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. And it could be, and I've seen other channels showing lines of people lined up in Canada at the local pot dispensaries. I have no idea if their earnings is going to be good, but having recently bought in on the cheap on Sundial, I hope that Tilray and Sundial's earnings are good, but they got a lot of factors at play, right? Manufacturing, distribution, supply chain, loans, acquisitions. So I don't really know. My crystal ball is not that good. I'm just in it as a gamble play.
Strictly, right?
What's the worst that I could happen? The worst that happen is Scarlett gets a couple less pedicures if I lose that money.
He says, let's see. Edward says, Tony, Tony, are you saying you're out of the AMC play if the Pounce ain't an actual Pounce?
No, AMC's on a great trajectory and of getting back towards profitability, and box office numbers for 2023 are forecast by many experts in the industry to be higher next year than they were this year. So we're on the right trajectory for AMC. But if after sometime in August there's not been any really news, I'm going to give a hard look at, do I want to sit here and sit on this money bouncing between $12 and $20 for another 12 months? Or do I want to capitalize on the patterns in the chart? Just like I decided today to do with GameStop. That will be my analysis at some point in August. And as that develops, if there's anything I need to share with you, the moment I decide it, I will let you know. 100% transparent as always.
Yep. And Greg says, Tony is already out of the GME play and will soon be out of the AMC play if nothing happens on August 4th.
No, I don't have a hard date of August 4th. No.
Definitely not. That's not what Tony said. I actually, and myself, I didn't even sell GME today. I'm giving it till tomorrow. So I'm giving it another 24 hours to see what the market looks like tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, I have to be up at 5:30 to be at the new place by 7. So good afternoon, Kiwi girl. How you doing today? Thank you for joining us. Someone says Pantheon is a god. Kim says Pantheon is Casey's twin. Someone seems Pantheon. Aaliyah, how you doing tonight? I got Keisha right. Dark Tech says GCC weed. What about the guy predict every stock? Who? What about the guy free from it all that predicts every stock? Bali Sab's never heard of them. You think about that, Tony?
Yeah. I've made a couple comments on his channel. He's not a fan of mine because I talk about facts. So
gotcha. Same thing, Carl J. Same thing in Mass, man. It's out the block every day. Tilray CEO compensation has no tie to the share price. Let's see. CSI says, but don't forget they held back the Sundial earnings almost the whole quarter. They can do it again, so don't trust that's just an estimated date, CSI, right? That was just there wasn't a hard date that they gave there, for sure. That's
hey, Mass,
point.
I'm going to do a quick ad insert. If you guys are on my channel, you might see an ad just so we can get that extra 6 cents for this hour. So I think if you guys watch it for 10 or 15 seconds, they pay me. If you skip it, that's on you. No problem either way. I won't know. But I'm going to do a quick
do you disappear when you do it?
Huh?
Are you going to disappear right now when you do it? Or are you going to stay? Are you going to still be on the screen?
No, it's only for people on my channel. They might get a quick ad.
Let's see.
Got to pay the bills.
Yeah. That's the only way we're going to do it. That's the only way we can do it.
We're not here pumping out 20 videos a day for 50,000 views each.
No. I struggled today to decide whether to do a video or to go live, but just because I think I'm going to have to tear down the studio soon, I decided to go live, and Tony agreed to come on. So Tony Denaro, can you look at Clove for a second? Check the stock price versus their planned growth and sequential earnings, and forget the meme pump. Oh boy, Jordan. I don't know if Tony wants to go diving right now.
Yeah, I mean, I made a executive decision last week that stocks that have a overall trajectory. If you want to put my screen up, Mass.
Yeah.
Stocks that have a trajectory like this, from upper left corner down to bottom right, something that went from 17 down to $2, especially if they have a history of negative earnings. I'm just not going to talk about them anymore. There are other channels that, their earnings per share are non-existent, right?
Yes.
There are other channels pumping these, and you guys come to me for facts, and then you don't like what I say, and you say I'm bashing the stock, or I hate your stock, or whatever. I'm tired of people going on other channels and lying about what I said. So I'm just not going to cover stocks like this anymore. Go ask the people who are pumping them to give you their due diligence, and you can make up your own mind, guys. You can look at financials and see no revenue or declining revenue. You can see dilution. You can see no earnings or negative earnings. And you can see the chart slanting like this. Pretty much all you need to know. You don't need my confirmation to know in your heart what you already know.
I know. I can tell you this. If you go back to last summer, Lou versus Wall Street did a bunch of videos on. He thinks it's still going to somewhere between 5 and 800. So you can go type that in. I know he talked about it and his reasons why he believes that from last spring. Let's see. So someone just said, that's what I was wondering, Pantheon. Did you want to tell? I just saw someone said that Boss and Pantheon are going to have HYMC's GM on. Not GM, sorry, CEO on. I can't think of her name right now off the top of my head.
Diane.
Don't see him. Diane, yeah. No, I almost said Feinstein. Yeah. That'd be a great interview. It'd be a pretty one-sided interview. I don't know if there'd be many questions being answered, but Natsuka says futures for tomorrow are blood red. Wonderful, Natsuka. Thank you for the update. Flight for Right says Lou never said that. Oh, I'll bet you $1,000 right now. Flight for Right. He said that 5 to 800. Those were the words.
Moving on.
Prometheus, how you doing tonight, man? General X, Venom X, stock trades, love facts, screw the pumpers and the haters. I love to call the facts FUD. I know. I think we're finally getting over that, not being afraid for people saying we're spreading or that, we're talking FUD because we're not talking hopium. How far do you think we are from something major happening AMC? 1 year, 6 months, 3 months? How something major? Look, here's the thing, Edward. I don't think Aron's going to put that tweet out saying in a year from now, he's going to have some pertinent information that could possibly push this stock up if the market hasn't completely collapsed by then. And, we're in some zombie apocalypse. So I'm hoping it's going to be in the next 3 months when he talks about a Pounce. But he's sent other subliminal messages before and we haven't really gotten anything. So I don't know how to answer that for you 100%, but I'm assuming sooner than later.
Yeah, if there's no real Pounce, you're looking at maybe if it was just fundamentals, and God, please no, do your what's this, Steve Carell? No, God, please no.
Yeah, God, please no.
God,
yeah.
None of us want to be here in 2024 talking about how the box office finally got high enough that AMC is paying off its debt faster than just the regular debt payments. But if there's no Pounce, if there's no catalyst, if there's no hedge fund going bankrupt, if there's no corruption exposed, if there's, if some catalyst doesn't happen, you're looking at 2024. I would like to obviously see something happen next week, next month. I do not want to be watching my stock bounce between $12 and $18 for 2 more years. I will make some executive decisions to capitalize on the chart if that is what I ultimately conclude is going to happen. So please, Adam, Aron, follow up and follow through with the carrot you're dangling. You better follow through. I know I'm not the only one thinking that.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that I'm going to abandon AMC. It means I'm going to adjust my investment strategy.
Let's see.
I don't have a small amount of cash on the line here. I've got a significant amount of money just parked I don't have imaginary shares parked. I don't have shares I never bought parked. I have real money parked, and I'm getting sick of it. So we need Pounce, and we need Pounce soon, or we're gonna take some alternative strategies to optimize our income on this play while we're waiting for the Pounce or for the catalyst or for the fundamentals to finally improve.
Guys, go back to there's a video from a year ago called from June 8th, 2021 called AMC versus Close Buy Now. Go take a peek. It's about 5 minutes long. You're gonna hit a $500 to $800 price claim. No corruption exposed, Big B. What, for the Pounce? I don't know. That's necessarily true. Doesn't mean that his information or whatever he's gonna hit us with. It could be. I mean, you know, there's a couple different things that this could be, at least that we've been kind of throwing back and forth for ideas, right? That could definitely be one of them. Maybe it's some way that that they found some way to expose, you know, these synthetic shares. Or I know you guys keep calling them counterfeits in the chat. Counterfeits. I'll start calling them that. Synthetic sounds legal, right? Sounds like a legal term more.
Synthetics is a legitimate terminology that is used on Wall Street to describe derivatives created positions. It is a real word, and people see it and then they say, oh, look, they even admit they're creating synthetics. Absolutely, they are. And I've done videos showing you how to create your own synthetics. You can do it tomorrow. Go back and find that video I did a year ago of how to create your very own synthetic share. You could do it, and it's 100% legal.
Yep. Are the FTDs for AMC unusually high compared to other stocks? I think we looked back to compare it with other stocks a few months ago, Tony, when FTDs are, remember back in the spring?
On a percentage of the float, it is high. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. In other words, if AA doesn't pounce, we aren't only playing share buying and calls, we will be playing puts too. I hope we never get to that point, Matt R. I don't think we're going to see that time, because I don't think the Pounce is going to be, I think the Pounce is going to be something that is going to help us more than hurt us. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of opportunities you could have played puts on AMC. I have never bought a put on AMC, and I don't even like buying puts in general. But I have bought some on retail brick and mortar, like BBBY last month, and GOEV recently. Coinbase, I have some puts as a little protection for my crypto assets if Bitcoin falls below 18,000. You know, I have some strategic puts, but I don't like buying puts. I'm generally a bullish person, but you also can't ignore the market you're in. I'm not going to create a strategy for you to buy puts on AMC. That's on you. I don't like the negative impetus that having puts chain loaded up, you know, that can drive the price down faster. So we're not going to talk about that on this channel. I'd prefer, if you are going to buy something, wait for the dips and buy calls that are 3 months out, not next Friday. Give yourself plenty of time.
Yeah, give yourself plenty of time.
Wait for the sick dip. Wait till it's so low that you don't even want to buy. That's when you should be buying calls.
Flight for Right says these guys don't believe in Pounce. Flight for Right, in your last 3 comments, you said Lou never said that about Clove to unsub to us, and we don't believe in the Pounce. You're still here. None of those things are true. But thank you for hanging in there. Appreciate it.
I'm sick and tired of clickbaiters lying to people every day.
Me too.
20 videos a day for the last year and a half about every catalyst under the sun. Every date under the sun that never fucking comes true. They're fucking
I am over
lying
that
to you,
shit.
and I'm sick of it. I was sick of it in July when I started my channel, because these fucking retards are the ones that are going to make people get frustrated and leave this play. Overpromise every day. Tomorrow, SEC confirms the the MOAS. Gary Gensler confirms the MOAS. Biden confirms the MOAS. Yada, yada, yada. March 3rd, Robot Godzilla. It's all been bullshit, you guys, so they can get paid from ad revenue. And you want to fall for it? You want that entertainment? Be my guest. At least they're keeping people in the play, but we're not going to, I'm not going to sit by idly and just say all of that is correct. I'm going to tell you, like on any ticker that you ask me about, what is good, what is bad, what I'm analyzing about how to grow my money. That's at the bottom of the day, the end of the day, why every one of you is in the stock market. To make money, not lose money. I've been nothing but bullish on this stock since I bought it at $7 in May of last year. So you can just leave. If you don't like what you're hearing, the truth is not for everybody. Neither are facts. I get it. Go back to Reddit. Go back to Twitter.
Tony, I'm going to pull a question up real quick. I'm trying to put a poll up for 24 the money. See if I can get that up. Adrian says, you guys are underestimating the CEO. He knows what he is doing. Yeah. No, I don't think I don't think we're underestimating anything.
No, we've put a year and a half worth of faith in Adam Aron. Nobody's underestimating.
The only reason why I haven't sold is Adam Aron.
I drove up community. I drove up just to shake his hand and tell him thank you in Dallas a month ago. Nobody's underestimating him, but he is making a lot of tantalizing promises right now. And I've been a staunch defender of Adam Aron against everybody who hated him on Twitter. I've been a defender of his and still am. Let the CEO do his job. His job is to fix the fundamentals of the company. I'm a 100% supporter of Adam Aron. Nobody is against Adam Aron in front of your screen right now. Never have been. 100% supporter of his.
I'll have to come back to that later. I don't know if I'll be able to get that pull up 24 in the money because I'm not logged into, I'm in Restream right now. I'm trying to work to get the OBS studio to go live with us so we can do stuff like that going forward. Let's see. Someone says AMC is the biggest scam in YouTube's history. I think there are definitely some people out there, PH Dragon, that are scamming people. I don't know that. Hold on 1 second. I gotta get Coco Chanel. Coco Chanel, I know you get upset about Lou, but he doesn't tell his audience to go hire a financial advisor, and all of us right now can go buy AMC at the same share price. So why would we start doing it if your hero isn't? And oh, come on, that's not nice. That's not nice. Come on.
I don't bash it. I don't bash other people. I bash bad clickbait nonsense, which is frustrating many people and making them leave this play because they get their expectations built up and crushed on a daily basis 20 times a day with fucking lies.
Good night, Maggie.
That's it.
Yep. J2 says, good night, Keisha. If AA partners with Disney, I will have to rethink my strategy. I understand that. Everybody's got to take their position. I get it. I don't see that happening, though. I don't know. You know what, though, Tony?
What?
Disney, of all the people, would possibly be a company that could pull off buying out a movie theater, right?
But I'm just so biased.
I know
Disney because of the wokeism. I don't even want to contemplate. I mean, is it possible? Yeah. Yes, it's in the universe of possible partners. That could be one, but I know.
They just seem like to be the ones that would even be so presumptuous as to assume they could take over the movie theaters and make it something that better than it's ever been, right? For whatever reason, just because they want to show certain movies. I don't know. Could be. Could be. No, we're not capitulating, Tony. Tony Adams says, thank you, LA. Tony Adams says, are you guys capitulating now? No.
You guys
No,
got to
absolutely
listen
not.
to what we're saying. Nobody has said anything about capitulating anything. Just, I invite you to rewind, play back a little slower, and please listen. This is how people go lie on other channels and lie on Twitter. They just said they're capitulating. Nobody fucking said that. Please,
Definitely
for the
not.
love of God, listen to the words we're saying.
Thanks,
Don't
Ralph.
hear what you want to hear. Hear what we're actually saying.
Yep. Remember, guys, we're big V saying it right here. We are all in the stock market right now / casino. A lot of times you get lucky. Sometimes you don't. And me and Tony aren't always right. We aren't always wrong. We just try to give you guys information. You guys going to make your decision. That's why we never say dates, prices, or times.
But we do talk about due diligence and we talk about facts. And if I invite you to spend some time here, spend some time elsewhere, and then come back and compare when we're talking about due diligence, who has been giving you the accurate information and who has been consistently wrong on everything. And then if you want entertainment, you can go to the other place. If you want valuable information that more times than not ends up being correct, then I invite you to come back here. And if you don't like facts, don't come back here. That's fine. We don't want people that don't want facts. This is not going to be valuable to you.
And we don't want to tear down people's aspirations or dreams or their plays that they believe in or any of that. That's not what we're here for. That doesn't help our channels and doesn't help the position that we have in AMC.
And we both have a lot of money invested in this play. I mean, we're here to keep people in the play if you want to know the fundamental reasons why we are in the play, right? I talk about why I am in this play.
That's it. Bottom line, that's it. Yep. Hurting for a squeeze. Gabriel C says, does anyone here might have any ideas what the pounds could be? Guys, put it in the chat. Does anyone have anything that maybe we're not thinking of, something that hasn't even been mentioned yet? Feel free, please put it in the comments. I would love to hear something that I haven't even contemplated yet. Flight for right says there are millions holding AMC. Yes, as far as we know, there are 4 million. There's a lot of us.
Yeah, that's always been a pillar of strength. I've said hundreds of times, the thing that makes AMC and GameStop different from other squeeze plays, which we see every week, is the millions of people who are holding these stocks and have stayed in this play for this long. That is the singular thing that has made these two stocks different, despite all the odds, right? Because these companies had a lot of negatives against them.
Yeah, they were both in serious trouble, and the hedge funds knew that. And they almost took them out. They probably came closer than we even know. Speaking of which, there was an article that came out. I didn't even see this till ago on July 2nd, 2022, from Quartz Magazine. You've ever heard of it?
No.
It was talking about how GameStop trading nearly destroyed Robinhood, and they went back to talk about a phone call and fundraising round. So it goes in here to talk about the DTCC and all the risk that was on the line at that point, and how they thought that Robinhood was going to go under. He said it was the equivalent of a 4-engine plane losing all 4 engines at 30,000 feet and landing safely, that Robinhood survived GME. That's how he described it. Crazy,
Sounds
right?
about right.
Yeah, I got to put that in a video. The next video that I make, I'm going to talk about this article for sure, because it has some really interesting things in here that I'd failed to mention in the past.
I see some chats on your screen. What did Liz say that's setting people off? Is it worth putting up?
I don't know. Hold on, let me try to find it. Liz claiming. Oh shoot, sorry. Oh, I think it's something personal. Throwing me out. Wait. Oh no, that guy. Jeez.
Oh no.
And they slashed your tires. Why? Because it's an SUV. An eco-terrorist. Who
I
slashed
didn't
your
even,
tires?
Liz, I didn't even know anything about what's going on, but this sounds like a horrible situation.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I don't know
Jeez,
what
Liz,
city
that
you're in,
sucks.
but hopefully you have some folks in this community or friends and family to reach out to. If not, let us know. You have a lot of friends in this community.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, I didn't know about that. So I'll reach out too. Let's see. I think the Pounce is going to, Thomas thinks the Pounce, thank you, Tell Dog. I think the Pounce is going to be a partnership with Paramount Pictures. Yeah, a lot of people seem to be swayed in that direction towards that. The Pounce was supposed to be directed towards short sellers because on Twitter, this is Kenny Sucks, everyone kept hounding AA about share count. It was a response on Twitter to retail about shorting hedge funds and share count. Okay. Yeah, that's possible. That makes sense, Kenny. I see how you see that. I see how you see that. So maybe it's something like that, right? Apes are going to pounce on the short seller, says Mike Millspa. What?
But it is indicating some sort of definitive action, don't you think? Like he has something planned. I hope his idea of a Pounce and ours are in alignment.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. Let's see here. So someone was asking about what good does a partnership do? So there's a bunch of things, right? There's the rights to the production and things that they'll be able to do now, being partnered up with a theater and with the release of those. What's it called? The decree, right, Tony? Is that how they described it? A decree?
Paramount
decree?
Paramount consent decree.
Decree, right. It will free them up to try to monopolize the market. And now that AMC has come back with this roaring vengeance, they may be looking at opportunities to spread things out between their streaming and vice versa by having brick and mortar locations to drop movies. Like, look at Netflix, The Gray Man. That movie just blew up, right? Too bad that didn't go to the theaters. It could have been $100 million movie. If they were partnered up with AMC, then that goes into our coffers, right? So that's how it will work for us in our favor. Thomas says that, let's see. Someone said, how isn't part? Okay, that was Jordan that asked that. Aaron's Pound says Doc will be the unforeseen catalyst.
What's up, Doc Zeno?
Eric Bissell says, stop pretending like you read magazines other than Playboy and Playgirl. Court magazine, yeah, right.
Was it court or quartz? What did you say?
Quartz. QUARTZ. Wise ass Eric. Yeah. By the way, Liz, look, we just said that, right? Reach out if you don't have somewhere safe to go. Let's see. They are making it work now, says Jordan. They aren't making it work now, so why merge with other theaters? What do you mean they aren't making it work now, Jordan?
I don't think AMC's not going to merge with other theaters. They might buy some more out, but there could be a merger with a filmmaking company or a production company. Not a merger. I don't like the word merger. I like the word partnership.
Yeah.
Symbiotic relationship.
And remember, guys, AMC already has an Academy Award for the documentary from Spotlight, from the Boston Globe thing. They won an Academy Award for that. So they've already dipped their toes into this sphere of influence. Let's see. Kiwi Girl says, hang on. I just missed you, Kiwi Girl. Where'd you go?
Matt R says maybe the Pounce is announcing 100% retail ownership. That's a good theory. We haven't floated.
Nope, we haven't talked about that. Definitely not. Yeah, could have something to do with that. Yeah. Yep. Matt, good point. Good point. To see, these are things that I have not thought of.
Maybe the
Check
Pounce
your
is
stand.
announcing that retail has 100% locked up the float at ComputerShare.
No, that's impossible. Because I know my shares aren't there. So
I know, but what if everyone else?
improbable.
What if everyone else got on board with ComputerShare and there's
Good luck with that.
There's all those synthetics and rehypothecated shares. You might not have yours there, but what if everyone else locked up the float? It literally could be anything. We could theorize this all day.
We have hard enough time getting on the same page to come to meet for a live stream. Never mind to try to get 4 million retail and traders to DRS their shares for a short squeeze.
By the way,
Greg says I like the word absorption. Good word, Greg. Go ahead, T.
I tweeted to ComputerShare. I don't know if I told you this, Mass, but I asked them for some clarification on the $3,500 max sell limit. There's been a lot of theories I've seen on Twitter and Reddit, and to be fair, I haven't looked at it in a couple days, maybe since Friday when I sent the tweet out that the 3,500 limit would be increased if the share price increased, but in black and white, I could not find that on ComputerShare's FAQ or terms and conditions. So I asked them to please modify the FAQ to explain the process of what would happen if a share price exceeded in a run up $3,500. I don't want it to read like it does now, that the maximum share price you can sell at is 3,500. So in line with my, you guys do what you want with DRS. I have nothing against it. But I would like ComputerShare to clarify that in writing instead of us making guesses about what would happen. And if any of you have a link to where they have clarified that, or I can find clarification, let me know, because I'd like to see that. Right now it says max sale price is 3,500, and it just kind of leaves it hanging up. I like to see my terms and conditions clearly laid out. If it's going to adjust up and you can sell plus or minus 5% of that, great. But let's not make a guess. Let's see it in writing.
You discussed DRS?
Yeah, just about that $3,500 limit change that they put in place. And what happens if the share price exceeds that? I want more clarification on that, and I couldn't find it on their website. So I did tweet them. I'm trying to work on that. That is a little hanging Chad that I'd like to have cleared up. No offense to Chad, but
No offense to Chad. Mexican Silverback says, Tony, is it true that Highcroft Mining struck a gold deposit? So I saw someone mention that earlier in the comments, but I haven't heard anything about that. Mexican Silverback. Tony, have you heard anything about that?
I haven't looked at it since Diane tweeted that they were going to do more exploration a week or two ago. I mean, I can look real quick if you want to bring up some other.
Yeah.
I mean, they think that they're sitting on a pretty large deposit of gold and silver, and they have a lot of land still to explore. But haven't seen any news recently in the last couple of days. I'll check real quick.
Yeah. Thomas says he's out to nail the short, so somehow it's gotta be for them to cover. Yeah, Thomas, that's a great point, right? Because he's constantly mentioned nailing the shorts, right? And Cohen too. So whatever tricks are up his sleeve as well. The Pounce, Apes R Us says the Pounce is AMC butter popcorn in your local supermarket. Yeah, that would make my head explode. Apes R Us. Explode right off the shoulders.
The latest news that I can find on Highcroft is just that they announced about a week ago a larger exploration program, the largest in a decade.
Okay, it's bullish.
So I mean, yeah. I mean, they should keep on doing exploration, and when they're ready to start drilling in a year or two, then they have a better idea where to drill for maximum utilization of that drill time.
Yep. Maybe Hamid says maybe AMC will sue the SEC Pounce. I don't think so, Hamid. I wouldn't count on that being it. It's a great thought, though. Let's see. Is August 4th earnings, says Anthony G. It's the 4th. Yes.
For
See, now,
AMC,
this is what I hate.
for AMC and Paramount.
Paramount as well? Yeah, that's right. Oh, no, wait. You mean the decree papers are up? I think it's on the 5th, right? Or their earnings are the 4th.
The earnings call for AMC and Paramount are on the same date. I think they're both on August 4th.
Interesting. And that decree ends on, is it August 6th or
August 7th.
7th, okay. Which is that's a Saturday, right? Isn't it? Hold on, let me look at this calendar.
Je ne sais.
I'll tell you right now.
Sunday.
7th, yes, Sunday. 5th is Friday. Okay. Adam's going to announce AMC now, sir. Yeah, she didn't look too happy eating that shit, huh, Belle Biv DeVoe? She did not look thrilled with whatever she just stuck in her gums. I don't know what that was. Grasshoppers. Hurting for Squeeze Gabriel. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you, man, keeping the lights on. Thanks, man. Very much. Let's see. Tony. Eric says, Tony, you convinced me. I'm going to put a sell order in at 3,500 per share.
Here's the other thing.
Hours?
What if you put your sell order in for 3,500 a share, and that is the hard max that they'll take, but right before your order is transmitted, it goes to 3,525, and they reject your order. Like these are the things I worry about. Like I want clarification, ComputerShare.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't want to leave that to chance. Yeah, yep.
That's not slamming ComputerShare. I just want clarification. I want to see it in writing. What happens if the price goes over 3,500?
Right on, Jordan. Exactly. Let's see. Edward says, would you be upset if the Pounce had to do? Absolutely not. Nope. If they pulled some vein and they're going to pull $1 trillion worth of gold out of it, nope. I have no problem with that at all. None. Zero.
We have a leading theory that Diane has clandestine operators planting a big gold nugget somewhere under a rock, and they're going to discover it, just like the crater of diamonds in Arkansas. Once a year, they discover a massive diamond. Some lucky tourist. I guarantee you that those diamonds are planted just for the PR. But yeah, there'll probably be a massive nugget discovered under a rock at Highcroft site.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Maybe an alien
spacecraft
skyrocketing. Woo!
Yeah, I would take that. A gold vein would be fine with me. Pam, good night. Thank you so much.
Good night, Pam. Thank you.
Have a good night. Yeah, Edward, I would be totally fine with that. Someone says AA won't have anything to do with concessions. Yeah, Andrew, that's what I think. I mean, that's just my opinion, and I think Tony agrees with that too.
I do. There is an outside chance that you could have Highcroft gold dusted popcorn selling for $1,000 a bucket just as a publicity stunt. And some apes would buy it. Just like that $1,000 drink on the Disney bar that we were talking about.
Yep. Yeah. The $10,000 drink. Yeah.
This is tongue-in-cheek joking conversation, but
if you were here at the last live stream, you probably remember. Let's see. Squeeze. AA does not want to squeeze as investors will exit his stock. Doesn't matter, Harry, though, because someone else is buying our shares. Whoever needs them is picking up our shares. He doesn't care who owns them. Doesn't matter. I'm going to cry if Pounce says anything about popcorn, says Sonny. Me too. Me too, Sonny. I will weep. I will weep. Kenny says we got to get the mob involved. LA says, can a big Pounce be giving shareholders HYMC silver coin? Could you imagine him doing? I mean, I could understand if they hit a gold vein, right, with some absorbent amounts of potential. But could you see them doing anything else with Highcroft when it comes to the Pounce? And
That would be
AMC?
that would be a form of it would be another form of a dividend from either Highcroft or AMC.
Right.
We talked about it briefly in our GME call. I forget what it's called, but you got a stock dividend, a cash dividend, and then you have a tangible dividend. Like I use the example of a company that, if it was a publicly traded company for NFL, you know, if they issued you a football ticket, that could be another form of dividend. But so
Sure.
yeah, I mean, that anything's possible. I don't think there's enough silver in existence at Highcroft to issue everybody a silver coin.
Probably not.
But
Not 4
silver
million
out
silver
of the
coins.
ground.
Right. Right. Then they got to mint the coins. That's a little cost expensive too.
Yeah.
And refine, you know, there's a ton of steps that have to be. So LA that you talk, that would be a long drawn out process if that would be the case. So I'm hoping it's not that. I'm hoping it's not. Prometheus. Let's see, where are we at here? Yes, Massalorian has Liz's claimant information, by the way, if anyone's looking for it. Chris King Callis says he's given us share count already. He's not going to go into synthetic shares. What the hell is going to stop the machine? That's what we're wondering, Chris. That's what we're trying to figure out. So we're trying to figure out. I have a lot of faith in him not bullshitting us at this point because of everything that's happened. He's went out, sold his shares. He dumped shares on us back in June when we were at all-time highs. He's done everything to take care of himself. Now it's time to take care. He does owe retail a little bit of debt, right? He wouldn't be able to survive all of this without us. That's just impossible. So I am hoping that he's now taking care of himself and his family, and now it's time to look out for retail. We'll see. I'm banking a lot on that. A lot of my faith. The same thing with Ryan Cohen and the community. Those are my two biggest X factors with this. Is the community behind the stock, even though some people are on a completely different mindset right now, depending on who you're watching for YouTube. But that's okay, though. It doesn't really matter right now. If you're watching one of those other guys right now, as long as they're stringing them along, so be it. Let them do that. We make fun of it over here because it's funny. Me too, Tony. I gotta be up and showered by 4:30. I gotta be on the road by 5:15. So you know, like I was saying, if that's whatever blows your hair back, it doesn't necessarily need to be with me and Tony, but something needs to bring this thing to an end, and I know we're all ready for it.
The best catalyst, someone's asking what catalyst would cause the shorts to cover. The best catalyst would be some fundamental massive change at the company that some short hedge funds are not expecting. Something that drives the price up quickly and massively because of overwhelming investor support. So typically where you see that is partnership announcements or new product announcements or debt payoffs, which I don't think is in the cards. That's why the idea of a partnership really excites me. But I mean, your imagination and ours could run the gauntlet with all sorts of different ideas, but it needs to be something unexpected. Maybe like someone said earlier, something exposing corruption, right? It just literally, there's a whole universe of possibilities.
Right. Or retail owns the entire float.
It better not be something like popcorn will be on the grocery store shelves in August. That ain't going to cut it for me.
We've taken care of supply chain issues. We've worked them all out, and inflation's not going to be a problem. We're going to keep our costs low, so you guys don't have to worry about markups. Like if it's anything like that, I'm going to blow my head off. I'll tell you that right now. My head will be blown all over that wall behind us. Kenny Sucks, thank you, my friend. Says the Pounce is a new cat food brand. Meow remix. Oh boy. Mike's, let's see.
I got my trusty cat right down here at my feet, sleeping away,
yeah?
listening to the all the DD on AMC and other stocks.
It's putting him to bed. He's not pumped up. Come on.
He's got a little cat bed.
Shitty
Yeah,
kitty.
he always hangs out down there sleeping.
Okay. Let's see. If a partnership is in the cards, says Sunchi Adventures, who would be the ideal partner? Who would be the ideal partner? Well, someone who doesn't have access to a production studio, maybe, right?
Someone that doesn't have access. I think someone that doesn't have access to movie theaters and someone that is doing production and has streaming. So, I mean, the likely candidates then are Netflix, Disney, and Paramount, right? Netflix, and of those three, I like Paramount the best. So that's where I'm hanging my hat, but I have no idea if that is even what they are going to do or who it will be.
Jordan, send it to my love baby, because I'll be gone. Won't be able to send it to me. Let's see. Someone said, Tony, I'll give you one guess as to what you think blows my hair back. I'll give you a clue. It rhymes with boy, oh boy, oh boy. Harry says Paramount. What about a free NFT? No, Edward. NFT is not going to be, that's not a Pounce. For every share you own, then once they send out all the NFTs, we can see how many shares are out there. Do you mean? Yeah.
I mean, they'll send out one NFT for every share they know about, which is 513 million.
16.
Whatever
right,
the number is.
Mm-hmm. Jeff B says his tweet was past tense, something like an investigation finishing up. That's why he couldn't say anything about but other CEOs could. Are you talking about Ryan Cohen, Jeff? What time are we at right now? All right, guys. So we got about 10 minutes left. Samir, he didn't say, he said after earnings. Where's Samir's question? Yeah, he actually said after earnings, which is on the 4th.
Someone else asked a similar question. You know, he didn't say August 4th. I agree. He said sometime after Q2. So no one in tonight's discussion is saying we're expecting an announcement on a Pounce on August 4th. I'm expecting something within a reasonable time frame after that.
Right.
That's what I would hope to, the August 4th call would be a great time to drop it, but I don't know that he will then. Maybe it'll be August 7th. Maybe it'll be Monday, August 8th. I don't know.
Yeah, it's best guess right now, guys.
Someone asked, is Popcoin, is a crypto coin not of interest to me? It's still highly of interest, just like though the NFT marketplace was kind of bad timing right now for GameStop. A crypto coin right now is kind of bad timing. So it's not as exciting to me as it was in the heyday of crypto in mid 2021, but I'd still be excited about it. It's just not going to get as much money pouring into it now as it would have if he did it a year ago.
Right. Rafi says mass AA's chess tweet. Yeah, we looked at it a couple minutes ago, Rafi. The 20-1 or whatever the guy was playing. Yeah, it's interesting. I just want to know what it is. I just want him to blurt it out. I'm sick of speculating and thinking about it and dreaming about it and watching YouTube videos about whatever the name of the canal is in Florida there with all the big jet boats going in and out. I must watch that probably 2 or 3 times a week. I've been watching that for 16 months, being like, it's going to be me someday. And here we are. Still no jet boat in Florida. I'm still in shitty-ass New England.
Eric's asking, why are we being so picky, or why am I being so picky about what company we partner with? Eric, any of them would be honestly fine with me. Any of them would be a good Pounce. They're all great candidates, but I think Netflix has its own share of problems right now. And just financially and directionally, and Disney as well. management wise, and with the parks and the woke movement. Not a political discussion. I'm just saying they got a handful going on, but could they be a good partner? Yeah, they could. Either one could potentially be a good partner. I just think Paramount has less of those issues going on with them, as far as I know right now.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just wondering, do you think that possibly that at some point in time we'll see streaming to include a theater, so you'll have the option to do either, and maybe all movies will be on both, and you can kind of pick and choose?
Or what if you
choose to watch at
go to the
home?
movie and then you get free streaming, to watch it again or
Right.
something? Who knows? I mean, again,
Right. Once
let
you buy
your
your ticket,
imagination run wild.
once you buy your ticket, you own the movie, right? If you come in the first month, things are going to be changing. That's for sure. Things are going to be changing. That's for sure.
Imagine all the Netflix movies. Are there Netflix movies? They
Oh, yeah.
straight to Netflix, but what if they were in a partnership with a theater and released them simultaneously, just to capture more income for Netflix? And
Yes.
it also benefits a theater chain. I mean, limitless possibilities. Take that
Yep.
limitless pill and just let your imagination go hog wild.
Yeah. Yep. Use The Irishman or The Gray Man or whatever the new one is that just came out with Ryan Gosling there. Their biggest, I think it's $100 million production on Netflix. So that's big. They still have some huge project coming up with the guys from Game of Thrones. Amazon's doing Lord of the Rings. There's a lot going on. Some of these bigger companies are getting into streaming and movies and production. And I think that will spread out and possibly at some point incorporate brick and mortar movie theaters. It just may be a natural transition that we'll see going forward.
Eric's hitting with the hard hitting questions tonight.
What's he saying now?
If I told you could make $1 billion, I'm going to add the word profit, Eric, right? Because the problem is they're making $1 billion, but it's costing them 1.1 billion. If you could make $1 million profit with a woke movie in it, are you saying you wouldn't direct in it? Eric, I would direct it, finance it, and act in it if I could make $1 billion. I don't care what the content is.
I'll guarantee you right now, Eric, we'll never have $1 billion woke movie ever in this country. Won't happen. Won't happen. Half the country doesn't go see it. You're never going to make $1 billion. Someone said that live sports at AMC would be revolutionary. It would be pretty cool. I think fights, UFC, all that stuff would be cool at AMC. They should be doing more of that, I think.
When it comes to my finances, I am apolitical, right? I leave politics at the door when I'm making an investment decision.
Yep. I'm in the ape party. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm an ape. Could we get an Amazon out of nowhere? Side note, if we get a new GD, new exclusive candy or some crap as a Pounce. Yeah, Kyle, we're trying to figure out one of these corporations that would do some type of partnership with AMC to benefit both of them, right? Adrian, good night, man. Appreciate you, brother. Have a good night. Much love. Mike says, go woke, get broke. You know, Mike. Chris says, all the suggestions are great for fundamental play. Will not force a squeeze, which is why we bought and held this long. Chris, depends on what that news is. There's no way to be able to tell right now if this news is going to squeeze us or not. Yeah, T.
I just liked a comment from Fight for Right, the guy who didn't like that we don't clickbait. He said, unsubbed from your channel. I can assure you, my friend, that will save you a lot of heartache because facts are not for everybody. So
good night.
I unsub a lot of people that if I don't think you can take it, I'll just unsub you myself. So I'm glad he went ahead and took the initiative.
Yeah. Yeah. I usually do those debates in the comments, right? I just don't think we're going to see eye to eye on this channel.
Trust me
right now.
Trust me. That's not the first time I've heard that in the last year. Unsub your channel. Oh boy.
I'm sure not. Eric says, how about AMC buying Canadian Cineplex chain or Galaxy? Colin just said, I hadn't thought about that either, Colin. A major acquisition in Canada. Yeah, they don't have any AMC in Canada. That's right. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Thor was a very agenda driven. It'll make 1 billion. Ooh, Eric, it hasn't even crossed 500 million, man. No way it's going to 1 billion. No way. You're out of your mind. No way. No way. We were way past this with Ragnarok by now. It ain't going to 1 billion. This is going to be one of the first ones. Kyle says facts don't care about feelings. Exactly, Kyle. Yes, yes. An extra large serving of hopium, please. Monty, this is the best you're going to get for hopium is live streams when we spit ideas. That's the best you're going to get for hopium. That's it.
Never forget, we cover these stocks every day and answer your questions because we have large investments in these plays. We're believers in the management. We're believers that the trajectory of the companies is going the right way and that there will be some catalyst, ideally, that gets us out of it sooner than waiting for 2024. So facts are difficult for some people to hear because you've been conditioned to confirm your bias with 20 ridiculous clickbait videos every day. And, oh, that hopium tastes so sweet. But you can still love this play and not be lied to 20 times a day. That's all I'm here for. I'm going to always be honest with you guys. I'm not here to make $15,000 a month off of YouTube ads. I'm here just to deliver it straight up and as positive spin as I can while still being honest.
I can back Tony on that 100%. And let me just add this. Well, two things. First, and the community behind this stock and all the people that I think we've met and have, come to get to know during this whole time is another reason that we're still in this stock. We have faith in the community and all of you guys that have been holding with us and buying and holding and buying and holding and shooting ideas back and forth and coming on live streams and commenting and all the things you guys have done to build up our channels, which in turn we've tried to give back and keep you guys in the loop with as many facts as we can without getting ridiculous, right? So that's another thing I think it's very strong and another reason to be bullish on the AMC. That's my 2 cents. And being 12:30, I am exhausted and I got to be up in 4 hours. T, anything you want to say?
Nope. I love all you guys. Pantheon, thanks for hanging out. Pam, I appreciate your help tonight. Every single one of the members of the channel, the subscribers, those who are just dropping in on my channel and Massalorian, thank you for hosting this again. He's doing all the hard work, guys, trying to put up the comments. I'll try and do it next time, Massalorian, because that is a bit of work. So thank you, guys. And tomorrow's another day. And we got earnings just right around the corner. Let's just make it through Jerry Powell's speech this week and hope for the best.
Yep.
What else can we do?
Don't be afraid. If you see AMC and GME fall a little bit tomorrow, just know, the market is anticipating this jump from Fed. We know this is coming. Just be prepared to not see anything go crazy. And maybe in a couple of days leading up to the 4th, we'll see better numbers. But, we're here. We're going to be here. So if you guys have any questions, to Liz, I hope you work things out, Liz. And if anyone wants to send me a message on Twitter or email, I'll get you the information. Thank you to all the mods tonight on me and Tony's channel. I know we had Adrian. I saw Teledog tonight. Pam, Liz Clayman. Who am I missing, Tony?
As far as mods?
Yeah.
I don't think Javi stopped in tonight.
No,
Pam
I didn't
Liz
see Javi.
Clayman.
Diaz, I think. Diaz was there. Okay. If I missed anyone, I apologize. The creators who stopped by, CSI, Pantheon, thank you guys so much. Frankie Muhammad stopped by tonight. Appreciate all you guys chipping in and everyone who donated to keep the lights on and help me get into the new place.
There was a lot of controversial stuff discussed tonight. Guys, we're not always right. We're just sharing our ideas, our opinions. We could be wrong. It's not financial advice. But we do want to have a honest discussion of issues. Whether you agree or not, that's all cool. If you don't agree, drop us a comment. We can discuss it further down in the comments. Unlike some other creators, comments are always enabled on our videos, and we like to hear from you.
Yes,
Nobody's going to be blocked for having a different opinion here.
Nope, not in these channels. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who came by tonight. You guys really make this happen. Appreciate it. Buy and hold. We know what to do. Have a great night, guys. Bye.
Peace out. Take care.